Because I did all the pre-stuff. Yeah, well, Loth left. Great.
Bye.
Typing that as opposed to just saying, I'm sorry, I'm gone. Whoa. Don't worry, we'll get them over their fear of interrupting Lucky at some point. Lucky will just have to constantly keep talking until they have to make him shut up.
Well, that might happen today, because I won't like to start out with a character vignette.
Yeah.
I think I've been conditioned into not interrupting Lucky's tyranny.
Oh, no.
I'm
true,
reaching my age where I need to repel against Lucky a bit more just to actually have my own personality. But
what's up? I didn't hear you, Axe.
He was just mentioning he needs to do a little bit more so he can come out more. Which is something you actually said when talking before this. Honestly, we don't have so many views in the last 2 episodes yet, because they were very recently put together, so I don't know if a lot of our core audience has gotten to them yet. But, in general, the impression was that they were not as good as other sessions.
What?
From the players and from myself. So
I guess it had more.
Some of the I was actually going to talk about those on WhatsApp, but we was very sweepy, so we decided to skip that for a later time. But I was going to say that I don't think the sessions were a mistake or nothing, because we did actually that prompted us to have some direct conversations about character themes and character design. This would be a good point to bring up, Lucky, that I think it was off mic. You're pretty sure you're changing your morality, your emotional strengths and weaknesses, because just for the way that Aramaa kind of evolved as a character, your original setup did not actually reflect her very well.
No.
So what is your morality now, for instance?
It is now compassion, sorrow.
Which makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
And this is why sometimes you don't want to randomly roll, and it tells you don't have to, just for those of you who are educating yourselves. It's just figure out whatever works. So, like I said, those weren't mistakes. It's just, it did kind of, and some of it was the time crunch. It's just, we did those kind of close together back to back with the last one, which was, 7 was very well received by everybody, I think. And that one was obviously quite a bit more polished, than some previous sessions, so last one was a little tight, in terms of time, so I did not necessarily well-roundedly focus my attention. So I kind of maybe made some interesting and unique combat encounters, but then the 2 Shootsman characters were like, no, we must flee! I'm like, well, this is gonna be awkward.
We were just looking at it very differently than how you thought it was, so...
Yeah, exactly, so I'm like, okay. So we need to maybe telegraph sessions a little bit more, which is why before even we got in voice call, I did have some conversations with Lucky, because he was like, what am I gonna spend my XP on? I can buy influence. And I'm like, well... So, fair warning, you may actually want to be able to do strain in this session in case you ever have to non-lethally take somebody down, because it can be difficult to acquire a stun setting for your lightsaber.
Yeah.
Unless you just don't use it and you just bash people with stuff like...
Well, yeah, that's the other thing. I wanted to bring this up to our newer players, because you guys might not know this, and it's important for the audience as well. But obviously, you guys have guns, which may not have stun setting, though that is important to note, especially for the one of you who, I don't think your sniper rifle has stun setting, but if you're used to shooting from a very, very long range away, that doesn't work. Stun setting is limited to short range. It's only weapons that are stun damaged that actually get their full range. But,
neat.
Also, your default unarmed attack basically has stun setting. It says in the description of unarmed combat, in addition to, you get knockdown and maybe disorient one? I'd have to double check. Yeah. You definitely get knocked down.
I think I remember you telling us that at a previous session.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember if it came up, but it's definitely a thing.
I remember you mentioning it during the fight because Axe wanted to try and do a knockdown through.
Well, yeah, knockdown part, yes, but the important thing is it specifically says you can choose to either deal your damage as wounds or strain, reduced by soak, obviously. So if your fist basically has a stun setting, so you don't have to punch people to death. However, I don't know how much the Jedi are invested in Brawl or Brawn, and I also, we were having this discussion, I explicitly asked you, did you buy the enhance for Brawl yet? And you were like, no. So that's one of the things I'm going to try and think about. Also, hey, fair warning for this session, I don't think we've covered it yet, but expect to roll a decent amount of Streetwise as your primary investigatory skill. God damn it.
Oh, great.
We need you.
Occasionally, you can eyeball things.
I have, okay, let's go over what we got, because I actually have some XP sitting around.
Well, actually, that was a good point. But that's also another thing, is if you have any XP left over you haven't spent, now might be a good time to spend it.
I was gonna save it towards my next talents, but okay.
Well, you don't have to do anything. That is generally a conversation we have had, in that our fresh new faces need to get a little bit better, especially you, Axe, about the idea that you need to have all your skills bought up really high, and you need to do that to succeed at anything. Because honestly, rolling an easy or an average check, which is what most of your checks should be, is not bad. But if you're like, oh fuck, I've spent literally all my XP and skills, and I have 3 yellows and everything, that's kind of like, well, okay, you're either going to do really well, or Omega needs to make more 3 and 4D skill checks exist, otherwise there's no challenge.
I mean, I've never actually, like, the highest things I have in any skill was like a 2. But
yeah, you're a little bit more well-rounded. Loth is hyper-focused, which means that actually giving him challenges means that they have to be challenging.
I mean, it's only done in, like, I think in
I don't mind rolling greens. It's just like, hey, I wanted to do
No,
this
yeah, you are better at rolling greens, but also you have bought a lot of skill dice.
I did mention that. Like, I didn't buy attributes at the beginning, though, so that may hit me in the long run.
Well, we'll see how it evolves, but, like, this is an interesting thing, talking about escalation a lot, is in order to make it so you don't just succeed automatically on everything, or at least not without some kind of complication, we can either skimp on rolls, and stuff that is definitely easy should stay easy, so that you're like, oh, I feel good about all the skill points invested, but when things need to be challenging, then I have to, adjust accordingly.
No, I get
talents.
I haven't, like, got into a 3 in anything yet, and I've just been getting 1s in things to have it where I have a die,
Like,
even then, you don't, like, listen, look at Lucky. What does Lucky do? Lucky doesn't give a fuck. Greens? I have 2 of those, I'll roll it.
Problem is, Lucky has no, like, self-preservation function.
Yeah.
What?
Or, he does only after he's been wounded.
No. I have plenty of self-preservation instinct.
It's fine.
How
How many ranks of parry and deflect do you have?
1 each.
Fair.
Yeah. And I have a lightsaber. Like, here's the thing, Axe. I don't let the fear of action lead me to inaction.
Yeah.
That is a key point. It's important to remember, this is a Star Wars very pulpy game and setting. You're not wasting your time if you roll and fuck up, because maybe you rolled advantage. Or, even if you rolled threats, at least something will happen, right? It's not a D&D system where, oh, I rolled a 5, I guess nothing happens. That will almost never happen, or if it does, that's a very close roll, and Omega's like, huh, weird. And then sometimes you roll double triumphs, and that's also like, huh, weird.
Like I said, Aramaa has plenty of self-preservation thing. It's just, she usually worries about, like...
Well, remember, her emotional strength is compassion. She's concerned about others before herself.
Yeah.
Okay, but the point is more of like saying, like...
why I think we're going to have a conversation with Boots in a second.
Yeah.
After we get through everybody's EXP spends. But the other thing was like... Okay.
I could just get a point in Streetwise if needed, but if not, it's fine. I could just do 3 greens.
You have 3 cunning. You may be okay just rolling that. And another thing to remember is that you guys, and some of this is, I can remind you, but also sometimes you just need to try and put this in your minds more about assisting each other. You can do a lot with assistance, whether that's, okay, why don't we just all do unskilled assistance and that guy gets like 3 boost dice, or, oh, my audio lagged out a little bit there. Let's hope that doesn't drop. Hold on, I'm going to pause Audacity for a second. Sorry, I wanted to pause Audacity for a second there. I think my computer was focusing attention somewhere else while I wasn't looking. Anyway, hopefully none of that audio dropped. But yeah, because I've noticed, and I'm going to tell you now, guys, fair warning, if you're going to do investigatory stuff and you're all going to roll the same, like, 2 green die check, if you unless you roll, like, a lot of advantage or a lot of different success, you're not getting any different information. Like, that guy who rolled 2 successes, I'm sorry. I'd love to help you out. If you're just all gonna roll and do the monkeys with typewriters thing, it's really hard for me to come up with that much nuanced detail on a lot of these checks. So I'm gonna go ahead and say that explicitly now. I probably should have said that earlier, but if that means that you want to make sure you're Voltroning your skills a lot more, or at least your assistance is better, because we had this discussion about assistance last time. Lucky does actually have a point about assistance types, because in conflict, in structured time, that specifically, I believe it's a maneuver to aid another, and that is only blue dice. The skilled, unskilled assistance is the assistance form and longer form skill checks. And basically that's, no matter what you're doing, it's either, if anybody's actually good at this, you should use their skill, use whoever has skill ranks, and whoever has the best ability ranks. And if you're the same or you're unskilled, then you get a blue die. That's really supposed to all be the same mechanic, but obviously you guys aren't looking at each other's sheets. But yeah, so that was something I was thinking about of like, okay, so especially for a lot of similar checks, we should probably either you guys have specific questions or it's like, okay, let's just all team up. Just roll one really big check. Let's make this easier.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think that's easier, especially this streetwise stuff.
So, since we're 10 minutes into this, like I said,
I'll-
I probably would have talked about some of this on What's Up, but it's a good time now.
I'll start with what I got. So I only got one thing because I had 25 XP last session. So, but I work in building up to my dedication. So I got Guns Blazing, which is only 15 cost talent. So I have 10 XP just kind of sitting around for my next talent.
I got dedication and put my willpower up to 4.
Oh, your trees are faster.
Lucky talking about this. Padawan is definitely a very beginner spec, but it will very quickly burn down to getting better. You're supposed to improve in it.
I mean, I'm working on getting towards my dedication as well, so I ended up buying another rank of Clanker Killer.
If I get 30 XP, I'll get that. It's like I just have a 20, and 25 for my dedication. So
Now we wait for Lucky Phantom.
No, I've been here.
Oh, okay.
I was going to ask, though, if you had ghosted, but sure. Since we're talking
No,
about
I did
go ahead.
ghost, but I just got back.
Okay,
I
well,
got back.
we were talking about EXP.
Ah.
So,
Yeah.
what did you do with yours?
I basically dropped all of mine into influence. I'm not gonna lie, I'm getting a little worried. I'm gonna be relying a little bit too much on force powers and not talented skills, but what the fuck ever.
Well, welcome to the trial of the Force user.
Pretty much. But, so basically, I bought 3 different things of influence. So I bought the first one, which lets me actually do some interesting, nifty things here. Let me just pull it up. So basically, right off the bat, I can influence someone's... Let's see here. Pull it up. Basically, I can guide someone's thoughts depending on which pips I use. So if I use light pips, I can generate positive emotions, and if I use black pips, I can do negative ones. Later, I can actually.
Does emotional influence still need a control upgrade?
It gets a control upgrade, but once I do that, I can actually make them adopt an emotional state or believe something untrue.
Okay, I'm trying to. The way influence is weirdly worded because most of the emotional stuff I'm pretty sure is supposed to be from the control upgrade, but the basic power is like, hey, BT dubs, if you use dark pips, it's dark goo, and if you use light pips, you do light goo.
I don't know. So I don't know.
The actual basic power is you can spend force pips to strand. Yeah. Is it then engaged ranged or short ranged normally?
Engaged. I bought a rage upgrade, and then I went immediately into the Hoopty control, which is when making a coercion, charm, deception, leadership, or negotiation check, I may roll an influence power check as part of his dice pool, and I may spend pips to gain success or advantages, user's choice, on the check.
Yep. Because, hey, just in case you didn't know, I'm pretty sure there's literally a force power for every skill, except maybe knowledge skills.
I wonder if the one's for streetwise, then. I was actually just thinking about that.
Is there? There might. Streetwise is kind of weird. It's like a social, but also a knowledge skill. I'd have to
There's the one skill in the character sheet you gave me that didn't actually have a stat associated with it.
Oh, well, it's probably an error. It's cunning.
Yeah, I put that in, but it was just weird to me. It's like, oh, is it like special?
No. Omega just probably forgot to write something. And his primary Star Wars players make their own weird-ass self-mathing spreadsheets, so we can't help you with that.
I just like the graph sheet you make, because I just keep adding more layers, because I just made myself a shopping list and a gear list at the same time.
But yes, so I think that's everybody's XPs. Oh, we already rolled duty, so everybody remember, because you guys are 99 duty, that triggered Arama's, so everybody has +1 wound threshold, and Aramaa has +2.
Yay.
On the topic of that...
Okay, well, so first off, how injured is people?
I had 4 wounds after the session, and 5 strain, but the strain will probably leave after a day.
Okay, anybody else? Wounds?
Aramaa has 3 wounds and 6 strain.
Okay, so he's mostly fine.
Either I messed up and didn't heal strain, or I took wounds last time. Oh wait, no, I did take wounds because I fucking fell. 8 wounds, 3 strain.
Yes, you took wounds and also you got blasted with a laser face.
Yeah, I just remembered that.
His name is Marth. church, and you will fear his laser face. Anyway, I'll err on the side of friendliness. Okay, everybody can heal 1 wound, but take a strain. Or 3 wounds, sorry. Take 1 strain, but heal 3 wounds, everybody. Who is
I can't have Marth, help.
Well, no, this is on your way back in the walker, much like she did, I think, with Aramaa a couple sessions ago. Europa Royale, who is not technically a medic, but does know some basic first aid stuff, will assist you. As you can see, she is not a great medic, but it's also very hard to medic yourself, so...
Yeah.
You take the strain and you take it but you heal it to wounds.
Alright, so I guess 1 day's of rest will be enough for me now.
But I believe at this point, before we go anywhere and do anything and set anything up, I'm presuming that Aramaa is not going to leave this conversation until, later?
Nope.
Because you got about a half-day trip back.
Okay. Well, I guess we're gonna, stop off at, Ubeshu?
Yeah, you'll go back to Ubeshu and get picked up, airlifted back, basically, along with your shit.
Alright. So, as we hang out at the, landing pad, I assume, I'm going to call over to, Kavis, Boots, and Camo, and ask for them to, come with me as we step away from the crowd.
Oh. Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
Alright.
I mean, the clones... Actually,
Oh, yeah.
none of them can say no.
Ordered it.
Can't rank all of them.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, once we're a little bit away, I will, turn, hands behind my back, and will ask, boys, is there something that you find unsatisfactory about my command?
No, General? Whatever gave you that idea?
Pop an eyebrow at Boots, but I'm gonna wait for the other two to answer.
Camo says nothing.
Does Camo have a body language for this?
Yeah. Otherwise,
I'm trying not to make. He's trying to just stay at attention, but obviously it's he's trying not to give a notion of anything.
Camo, I asked you a question.
The higher-ranking officer asked you a question.
General, I haven't found any issues currently.
Then Aramaa will turn attention to Kavis. We're away from everybody else. What you say here will not be a part of any... She'll kind of flutter her hands anyway. Punishment, review, report. I just want honest opinions.
Don't believe I have any issues with you as my superior in this.
Aramaa will nod. Think about that a little bit. Okay, that's good. Glad to see that I'm doing alright. So, Boots.
Yes?
And Kavis, I have to ask, why did you take the actions that you did when confronted with the Gardener security? If I might remind you, Boots, you, grabbed me and pushed me in a combat situation. In Kavis, instead of facing the threat, you moved to run away. Why?
Well, General, as you have noticed, we have been in quite a few combat situations, and while it is great that you lead from the front, there have been occasions where you have taken quite a bit of damage. Considering that this was an unknown threat, I was hoping that we could retreat to a tactical distance and better think about the options instead of trying to face an unknown head-on.
That is sound reasoning, I will say. So why did you want me to go towards the part that we haven't explored, then?
Because I did not believe that construct, statue could follow us through that opening we made.
And this knowledge was based upon what?
Just the adrenaline I had going at the time.
Ah.
I did not have time for a more tactical approach.
I see. And Kavis, you did something insane. You made an escape route leading forward further into the installation. May I add that said route would have separated us from one of our companions and would lead us into an area that had not been explored and had dangers we may not have not known about. Why did you pick that direction?
Oh, thought that going in just... Well, first off... Okay, out of character, I need to actually think how I'm going to word this.
No, go for it.
Yeah, that's okay.
It's all like, Aramaa will go, it's all like, please, take your time.
Okay, so, as with that Mr. Stone Laser face, I thought that, believed that I have gone to just jump directly in combat before against something that I did not know about. I pulled upon knowledge that some ways that if we need to run, we needed a way out. But as I was thinking about this, I would have, after getting that grate open, I would have gone over to get the other one open, trusting that you and the others would have been able to take care of matters.
Aramaa will nod and say, Your line of thinking is not incorrect, but both of you,
Yes.
I must say that I think your actions were led by fear and not reason. Kavis, if you had instead made the escape route towards where we had come from, we'd have gone through already explored terrain, we would know the way back, we'd have a secured route all the way back, and we would not have split the party. As said, going forward, as said, takes us into the unknown. We were very fortunate in the fact that there were no other security measures forward, but in going that, we might have run into more. Or we could have run into a dead end. Matter of fact, the room that we did run into did seem to be a dead end. There was as many collapsed passages and debris ring around. We might not have been able to get back out from there. Therefore, we would have had to come back and fight the threat anyway. At which point, who knows what it might have done. Boots, I am your commanding officer. If you do not know what to do, and if you have trouble deciding, ask me for an order. Take the moment. You may think that you have to act immediately, quickly, and all that, but you will often find that acting too quickly will often just as much lead you to disaster as acting too slowly. You must not let fear rule your emotions. Fear is a great warning. Fear will keep you alive, but too much will override all you think and turn you into a panicky little animal.
Thank you, General. And with all due respect, it was not mostly out of fear that I acted, but it was a concern for my commanding officer, you.
So you think I could not handle myself?
No, I do not believe... No, sorry, let me rephrase that. This is out of character. I'm just fucking up my own words.
I'm just thinking at that moment there should immediately be a smash cut flashback to what was it? Aramaa got shot by a droid. Aramaa got bit by a mud shark.
Mm-hmm.
Aramaa got punched by a guardian angel.
Mm-hmm.
She got sniped.
Mm-hmm.
I do not doubt that you are a capable Jedi Knight. It's just that over the past few recent combat encounters, and maybe even some non-combat encounters, your eagerness to put yourself on the front line before others has led to a few instances where you have taken more damage than necessary.
Oh no! Your martyrdom complexes need to fight!
More damage than necessary? Is there a numerical value for necessary, Boots? I'm gonna walk up to Boots and I'm gonna top tap his tally marks of his clones that cannot save. Were these necessary?
Oh.
You know, I don't know if a clone has ever punched a Jedi before, but if you want to try...
Mm-hmm.
Aramaa will be met with just the silent gaze of the clone trooper helmet, because I'm assuming he's still in his armor. Mm-hmm. Before you hear a deep breath and say, no damage is ever necessary. It would be preferable if we had no casualties, General, It would be preferable if we took no damage, General. It would be preferable if we didn't lose anyone, General. But sadly, shit happens.
Oh,
and
here we are. Shit happens. Things happen. Aramaa will stride back. And in your mind of shit happens, you decided to completely disrupt my actions for what you thought was best for me. Correct?
Yes.
Boots?
Because we cannot lose you. This battle for Solhalith cannot lose you.
And why not? Because I'm a Jedi? Because I have a lightsaber? Because I can use the Force? I am not someone so special as is my life is worth any more than anyone else's here.
General, it is because of that. Not the Force or the Jedi that I am referring to. I am talking about you, the person. You care about your soldiers underneath you. You care about those you've just only met. That is the kind of leader we need. That is the kind of leader our brothers will need.
And if
they will follow you.
And if I acted in any other way than I would not be that kind of person, now would I?
Apologies, I am trying to think of something decent to say in reply. But I think at this point, we'll just lower his head and just stare at the floor. Because I cannot think of anything better to say.
Mm-hmm.
I am not going to lie. I may be shedding tears right now, because I am easily emotional.
No, that's fine, my dude.
Oh boy.
Aramaa will place a hand on each of your shoulders. All of your intents are noble. I'm glad to have each of you with me. But I fight. I will be injured. I will protect you. You will protect me. We are a team. But a team does not impede, does not walk over the actions of others. We must work together. Okay?
And
the first part of that is communication. So, as I said, this is all off the record, but I all want you to think about this. As I said, if you have any issues with how I run things, please. My door is open and you have no fear of reprisal from me. Is that we understood?
Yes, we understood, General.
Excellent.
And describing the action, Boots will just still slightly have his hands a bit clenched. He is slightly upset about the jab at the Dead Brothers thing.
Yeah, I know. It was intended as it. I'm surprised that Omega didn't give me a conflict for it.
Well, I suppose the question is, are you just, because you're obviously in a very nettled situation. I'm feeling like maybe we need to have... It's a pity Master Lago isn't here. I'm sure he could share some sage wisdom.
I really want to say something cool this entire conversation. I just didn't have anything I could bring up. I couldn't think of anything.
Well, that's Camo's thing, though, is he's the quiet guy.
Yeah, it's
he is just performing the mission. But
I was gonna actually. There's a thing. There's after kind of hit that awkward silence.
I was just gonna say about the conflict was just that Commander? Is it because obviously you have your own emotional baggage. Is the question too was that intended to is it in Aramaa's mind that will emotionally hurt Boots, or is that just you're making an observation? Hey.
It's making an observation, but it's still something that emotionally hurts somebody.
It did, but intention is kind of a big deal with conflict. Also, you are not being malicious to him. You are asking him an emotionally honest question, which is, dude. Well, okay, you're carrying a certain weight with you. Is that required? And he's like, no, dude. The whole point is that it's not required. I feel like. There should be a chess analogy in here. I should think of when the Master Logger comes around.
I was also thinking of something along those lines.
If you lose the Chancellor piece, then the game is lost. If something I'll think of what he's going to say because apparently he really needs to have this conversation with you before he fucks off to go somewhere else. Because that is my decision for because the game talks about mentor characters to kind of ascribe them with a flaw. His flaw is not really that he's physically remote, but that because he's a general in a war, he's very often busy with very real things, and thus he can't always be there to help you.
Yeah.
There's gonna be some space battle taking place in the sky later, and we'll be like, oh, it's very pretty. Oh, that was something exploding.
But yeah.
All right, he does all the space battles, yeah.
Probably. There is actually. I should, because they have a template for building mentor characters. I should probably do that with him just so he has stats if I need them. Fun fact: apparently, the way this is built is you look at their skill suite and you pick half of them to get 2 ranks and the other half get 4 ranks.
Jeez.
So he's probably got lightsaber 4.
Neat.
Yeah.
So he's basically meant to be like a character that has, like, I guess.
Yeah,
like
the mentors are meant to be a very high level character who can actually, mentor you.
Yeah.
We did decide last time looking at the table that Master Lago is very clearly the cryptic style mentor, where he's just like he speaks in allegory and verbal rhetoric to get you to like figure out what you need to do for yourself.
The rules I give you.
Which is probably why Kavis is the way he is, and then Aramaa is also the way she is, and they both technically have the same mentor, because this is what happened when they try to figure their own shit out.
Mm-hmm.
Kavis is like,
yeah.
but if I hit him with my lightsaber,
mentor, and he's not
it's like
showing you to do things, he's just telling you how you can do it.
Well,
Yeah,
kind of.
Anyway, Axe, you wanted to insert something into this conversation in character.
It was just more of like, we would have to like verbalize it, but it was just more of a, after like the awkward silence, just Camo just asked, like, General, can we go back to the Walker now?
Out of character. We're done with the Walker. We're waiting for a pickup.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was more of a Camo to be like, we should probably get back and go.
Camo decides, fuck it, just takes the Walker back. I don't want to be here right now.
That's more about
probably at this apropos moment, there's probably like a loudspeaker somewhere that goes. So there's some kind of like, it's probably your ride or something.
Mm.
Commander, we should get going now.
Indeed.
With the clones waiting for the LAAT, please dock at Gate 4. Gate 4 is now open for docking.
Remember, the white zone is for loading and unloading only. No, the red zone is for unloading and loading only. Never unload in a white zone.
Do not linger.
I'm sorry, I'm just thinking about caution wide load, and then my immediate thought was Aramaa's hips. I was like, hey.
As soon as you said that, I'm like,
okay, anyway, alright, so we go back. So, because I love mixed messages, Master Lago probably has a conversation with Kavis in the next couple of days, having heard about the stuff, and his message is probably less harsh, but still spiritually similar to Aramaa's, which is like, hey, you had a good idea, you did lateral thinking, you tried to adapt and overcome the challenge. That's a very important quality that you need to think of more. But details are important. He probably turns it into once again a metaphor for like Dejaric or warfare or something, where it's like you need to have your moves. You need to think about your moves several steps ahead. Yeah, it's key to being a Jedi. You should trust your instincts, but know what your next move is, and your next. That way you can build an appropriate response. So yeah, it's probably similar to what Aramaa said, but like I said, it's not contextually as harsh, where he's just like, hey, good plan, thumbs up, but in future, try and think a few moves ahead.
Alright.
And I don't know. Yeah, honestly, if that conversation was private, there's probably not any like other details about the thing. Like maybe he should have a conversation with Aramaa sometime, but actually no. Yeah, he'll probably pull you aside for some lightsaber katas someday, Aramaa, and kind of since we've just had a 30-minute interlude before we even get to the session, I think, looking at the mission clock. Yeah, we're at about 40 minutes into the recording. I know we didn't start until like 10 minutes in, so yeah, that was like 20 or 30 minutes.
We're going to pick up the pace now.
So I don't know if you really want to get into a high detail conversation, but he probably tries to have a moment with you and kind of explains a metaphor, which is like I said, kind of like a chess, which is like, I know you understand, you're concerned about them. That's, compassion is the heart of the Jedi, but you must remember also the lesson, if you are that concerned about them, if you are that much of their staunch defender, if you do fall, then they also fall. So he probably emphasized, and this may be a source of conflict with your master. That'll be a good point to think about for future vignettes. But he thinks about it in a very strategic sense, a very like he's probably pretty good at the whole Jedi detachment thing, like thinking of it in a very almost Zen way, like.
Well, I get it. Basically, I kind of Aramaa thinks it in a different way. Like you're saying, like if the Chandler falls, they all fall. Well, if all of the pieces but the Chandler fall, what can the Chancellor do anyway?
Right. And if you brought that up to him, he would agree. Obviously, that if ideally you would lose no pieces at all. However, he probably points out that you have been injured more in this conflict than probably your entire career as a Jedi up to this point. You must find the intelligent balance between your tactics, or, because since you're doing lightsaber drills, as he probably does some, slick move where he, goes to like knock your saber out of your hand or something cool, because he's a cool man like that. He's a cool boy. Actually, heck, because you may eventually invest in the brawl upgrade. He probably goes for like a saber twist and then comes around with his offhand and like knocks aside your saber hand, and you're like, wait, what? You used your offhand? People can do that? Maybe he like full-blown kung fu master, like, got your lightsaber.
Oh no.
Hands it back to you, or you must, achieve such a level of mastery that it is not a level of concern. Master Obi-Wan on the Council, for instance, is a famed master of Soresu. It is entirely possible that he is undefeatable in personal combat if given sufficient space to practice his form. Because that's true, he's really good at Soresu, guys. Like, so good. Anyway, yeah, so that's that. Like I said, I don't know if we need to turn it into a detailed conversation. He gives you the whole food for thought, right? Like,
yeah.
Basically, he accepts that you have a moral value. It is good, but as your teacher, he's like, you got to remember to take this a level up. Think big picture, or get good, scrub. So, right. But then he probably collects you in Kavis and is like, hey, so I need to go else. Yeah, we'll get there. I'm thinking I'm going to give you a couple days. But after a question, he's like, I need to go to space, basically. He needs to go elsewhere in the sector to coordinate military efforts because you guys are doing a lot of investigating and poking and tactics, and like he needs to figure some shit out. So he's going to take one of the cruisers. You only have two, and actually no. Unless you're like, no, Master, you must take a bigger escort. He's probably going to be like, yeah, I'm just going to jump in a fighter and go. He'll take a hyperspace ring and get out of here. Maybe he'll take like a couple clones and arcs or something as escorts, but he'll fly free in the true Jedi way. To go do general things, basically. So you're going to be unsupervised for a few days.
Oh, okay. Well,
because like I said, I figure that's his quote unquote flaw or drawback as a mentor is that, hey, he's actually kind of good at this war stuff, so he often has to go do war things. Meaning you can't always be like, damn it, Master Lago, what should I do? And he's just like, just hit them really hard. Use your force stuff. Or he can be like, no, Kavis, don't run at the murder machine. Kavis just like, what was that? Run at the murder machine? Damn it, got it.
Oh, excuse me.
Curses, I should have fixed his hearing problem. Anyway, yeah,
Space hearing aids.
Y'all get a couple days.
Cool.
So everybody can heal 2 wounds if they need to, and get all your strain back because you have enough time to fully rest. Cool. Though honestly, keeping in the account that your strain hadn't gone away yet, that last scene can make a lot of sense, because you guys were super stressed, some of you.
Yeah.
I was like at half stress, yeah.
Yeah, I was at my
I was still not talking.
Yeah, he was probably a bit stressed, still mulling over the what Aramaa had said to him.
Yeah,
so Boots, you probably also get your own little vignette, which is like, oh hey, your fire team welcomes you back.
Hey.
And they're probably like, you have fun out in the field, Boots. Doesn't look like it, because you're full of holes, because that weapon had pierced and got through your soak, so you probably do in fact have a large laser-face crater in your armor that you'll need to get fixed, unless you want to keep the battle scar.
I'll probably fix it up. No point in having something that may be a structural weak point in my armor.
If you want to do something cool, you could like paint it over and get a cool laser-face scratch mark in your chest piece. Or not, food for thought, but yeah.
Yeah, food for thought, but not for now.
Yeah, but yes, you probably have a nice, very congratulatory back with the squad, talk about stuff.
Yeah, spend time with my brothers.
They probably I don't know. You actually go to a link to talk to Camo. So if Camo's around, they probably make sure to talk to him and be like.
I was about to say, can I just drag Camo with me?
Probably, and be like, there's probably some like, hey, are you all right, brother? You know, because Camo got really messed up in the last couple in this mission. I think he took 2 critical injuries at different times.
Yes.
I've taken more than over 5 within a day and a half, but I've been treated with all of them. So.
Yeah, so you got beat up a lot.
We've got the most injuries.
Yeah.
It's just like, I haven't marked them all down because I got rid of them as soon as I got...
Most injuries on that guy, while the reckless guy has only been injured
you almost got kidnapped by Spider-Bats.
Most of it's protecting your ass.
Armor, but they've wrapped gauze around the armor.
Yeah, so honestly, they probably do give not Boots though. Do you need to do any healing yourself, Boots, or are you good?
I've got about 3. Got a few wounds left.
Okay, so you probably all get some medical leave for the next couple of days.
Ah, Jesus.
Yeah, I've got.
Sorry, I was looking at the bulwark shield. It's 6 encumbrance. That's a lot.
It's a big one.
Heavy. Is there a good? I don't know. Anyway, hey, hi. I said this earlier, but I hope you like handouts.
Oh, that's the same weight as my rifle.
Oh, well, give it.
Because first of all, some guys did some science about some stuff.
Oh, sweet.
Oh, cool.
Is this the stuff from the core that we saved?
Yes, this is the stuff.
Oh dear Lord!
I'm gonna need like 5 minutes to read this.
I'm impressed, Omega, but at the same time, Jesus Christ.
Do you want me to read this out loud for the listeners at home?
Yeah, if you want to.
It's gonna take a bit, but sure.
Well, everyone's got to read. So, from the Ministry of Science, Outlet Soholiv 00, Department of Astrobiology, Desk of Astrobiology Chair, Arden Hearn, to Desk of Lexington Hubbard, Archaeology Chair, CC, all department chairs, Director of Office, Service Corps Day. Based on the samples and field reports of the archaeology team, astrobiology has come to some conclusions about the sample substance and thus the gardener's biology and tech base. Visually, the fluid is greenish-white and faintly lumescent. The life forms inside are microscale and generally amorphous in shape, but adopt a starburst pattern when agitated. Sorry. Thank you. We have dubbed it the microscintillion fluid. I don't know if I pronounced that right. Was that right?
Yeah, close enough.
Close enough. The fluid appears to respond to bioelectric fields as well as ultrasound and hydrostatic pressures, but is not overly sensitive to light. Based on input from the Jedi field teams, we believe the microscintillion fluid is not sentient as its intelligence volume is very low. It would require an entire facility the size of the Ubeshu Hills site filled with the fluid to reach that level of intelligence, if possible, as it appears to lack many complex sensory organs. Tests performed by the Jedi have shown nominal levels of midichlorians. Thus, we conclude that the substance is not the gardeners, but an aspect of their technology and science. It may, however, be related as it shares several genotypes similarities to the biology on Soholiv and other planets in the Remnant's Garden, and other physical properties. Based on new life culture samples and historical and fossil records, astrobiology has come to the conclusion that there are several strains or cultures of microscintillion fluid which provide different functions. The most common we find fossilized or embedded in certain gardener structures. It is a microbe which functions much like a coral. Its pulps consume natural materials, metallic and ceramic elements mostly, the types of things abundant in terrestrial worlds, and secrete them into a natural metallic cement-like substance which is remarkably resilient, as tough as permacrete and tramperisteel. How exactly they cultivate it into macrostructure is unknown at this time and is probably better left to archaeology, just we know it is possible. The second appears to be a form recovered from the core brought by the field team, and fossilized samples may be present in early screenings from the heart of the Ubeshu Hills site. This form seems to be a sort of energy storage. The specialized organelles, which secrete the ferrocement substance, are removed, but they have expanded natural organelles for the storage and generation of chemical energy. Effectively, large colonies of this strains of microscintillion fluid are a type of organic battery, passively gathering energy and storing it in chemical and bioelectric bonds. They can gather this by actively being given feeder chemicals or appear to be able to naturally absorb ambient electrothermal energy. They may be even feeding in the germinal field vents deep beneath the surface of Soholiv, or were in the planet's younger period. They can then pass this energy from microbe to microbe, or even emit it in various forms, aided by their physical containers, as even in large colonies, the material is mostly fluid. This is likely how the gardeners handled the power generation, storage, and transmission, as well as the source of the unusual abilities the guardian angel, the device showed in the Ubeshu Hill site. In addition to this form of energy storage, tests indicate that this strain also has a form of genetic memory or DNA computing. Its genome involves many junk sectors which we cannot correlate to its internal structures or physical property, and is of much higher frequency and density than observed normally in the creatures of this scale. The modules are easily separated and passed or copied from microbe to microbe, probably as a form of data transmission. Thus, it is likely the fluid is the basis of the gardener's information storage and transmission along with power. Some of these gene sequences may activate in response to certain stimuli, allowing various colonies of the microcentilian fluid to act almost like a droid brain. Otherwise, it may simply be how they handle programming with their organic technology to carry out orders and grow in certain patterns. Because of how they passively gather energy, this strain of microcentilian fluid is remarkably long-lived, remaining stable for extensive periods in a dormant state unless exposed to the wider elements where other natural microbes or adverse conditions may harm it. Microcentilian fluid is clearly synthetic or cultivated in some form, as it possesses almost no natural defensive or immunity responses, only certain stimuli from sources which do not make sense in evolutionary biology. Unfortunately, any information... I just lost my spot. Oh, there it is. Unfortunately, any information encoded in genomic processors are likely to be a language only understood by the gardeners. We are developing a rapid sequencing program to catalog the information, but it will be up to archaeology to attempt some form of translation. The final strain is probably the most interesting to us here in Astrobio, but also the most elusive. We can only extrapolate the connections based on microfossils in the seabed samples recovered from the cenote and Ubeshu Hill sites, but this form appears to be between the other two strains and it almost resembles a retrovirus. These microbes can penetrate other organic molecules or assemble them like the complex embryonic cells of more advanced life forms, but they do not appear to do that in order to replicate or modify themselves like most viral or parasitic organisms. Instead, this appears to be the gardener's tool in order to modify or even assemble from the ground up complex biomes and biospheres. These versions of the microcentilian fluid can be spread to a population through water or aerosol and sample the microbiology forms, possibly reporting this information to other strains of the fluid. It then possesses all the biological tools it needs to edit out bad genome sectors or install new ones. This can be used to very rapidly speed up the evolutionary process, causing rapid adaptations or evolutions in populations and artificially stimulating growth in other biological processes. This is likely to explain why Solhalif has had such a diverse and prosperous biosphere despite its relative youth as a planet. The gardeners likely distributed microcentilian fluid to the wider populace, flash evolving many species from the primordial Solhalif and then causing them to rapidly adapt to the circumstances of the planet. By manipulating the biosphere in this way, it is possible to build an entire ecosystem and biological sample, which enables the climate of Solhalif as we see it, down to the producers, predators, and even smaller. However, I need to consult with my colleagues in planetology on the matter. I do not believe these manipulator or breeder strains of microcentilian fluid can directly impact the geology and hydrology of Solhalif, which means the gardeners must have had some other form of the microcentilian fluid not yet observed or in our fossil record, or some different avenue of technology in order to alter Solhalif hygienic geologic cycle to affect volcanism, geology, and hydrology to create this humid, water-rich world we now live upon. Naturally, given our current wartime concerns, Director Aban has asked me if the microcentilian fluid is a biological hazard. In our estimation, at this time, the answer is no. The active energy strain may cause a slight allergic response or fever if ingested in the body, but will greatly be processed as it has no mechanism to support itself anywhere but its special containment environments, and the construction strain appears to be mostly extinct and only consumes non-organic molecules. It might be possible for the breeder strain to attack non-Solhalif biology like a virus or allergen, or even possibly a carcinogen, but based on computer projections, our current air and water filtration systems would remove any bottles of microcentilian fluid present in them if the strain did not...
Did Lucky ghost?
Oh no.
He got all the way to the last page, and then he ghosted.
Yeah, I did. I was like, I could.
I'll read the rest for him.
Okay.
Where was he?
It's a strain. I lost place too.
But, based on computer projections, our current air and water filtration systems would remove any bodies of microcentilian fluid present in them if this strain did not appear to also be mostly inert and extinct. I have forwarded projections to the medical wing, and they believe current runs of antimicrobials should suffice, though we may have a shortage in the event of a major contamination event. It may also be possible for a modern science facility to weaponize the microcentilian fluid through their own cloning and gene editing process. While I do not believe any other such labs currently exist on Sohaliv, Jedi Master Lago and Director Raban do think the risk is too great to let lie currently. As such, we've agreed that the detailed data files and physical samples should be placed in secured storage in the base and restricted to code word clearance requiring approval of the department chairs. I understand this may be somewhat constraining, but under current reduced staffing conditions, there should be sufficient time to get all researchers approved on referring to the core data tapes or samples if needed, and that this is fairly typical when dealing with unknown quantities in microbiology. If anyone complains about being too strict, I have a memorandum on bunkered sewer disorder, which goes into excruciating detail they can read. I am also cautioning all members of the astrobiology department to take similar precautions in the field. The memo ends.
So basically, don't drink like the raw water.
Well, you already did not do that.
Yeah, but yeah.
Why would you drink raw water?
I'm more just thinking of like the other people, but yeah.
I'm sorry, see you later. Welcome back, Lucky.
Yes,
Yes, I finished the memo.
Thank you.
Don't need to worry about where you are if you lost your spot if you've already finished reading it.
Oh no.
Say, like, as I said before, I'm impressed, Omega, but at the same time, good lord, man.
Hey,
like,
you wanted to know about the thing, and I was like, damn.
You show off your
Oh yeah, I was gonna say, hey, can you tell I like planetology?
He does.
I referenced a Hadean period in there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's some really hard sci-fi shit there.
Yeah, no.
Well, you guys did want to know more, and I had some ideas, so I was like, fuck it, I'll write it.
Yeah.
No, I'm curious.
Wanted
I'm
scientists
really
to do research.
I find it interesting
Here's plot hooks.
I find it interesting that there's different strains of this fluid.
Yeah,
So-
basically the 3 types you've seen so far are all forks of the same, or evolutionary, or related, not even,
Jeez.
element.
It kind of
because they're-
reminds me of like
biotech.
the biofluid from Soma, where like that was used to like replace like replicate organs to even like
Well,
weird.
like the way I'm seeing this is this is like I know this is kind of keck, but this is kind of nanomachine, son.
it's
Except-
like it's organic.
Well, yeah, in a
it's
sense,
organic
this is literal biotech. This is
Yeah.
DNA computing and smart microbes and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Organic nanomachines.
Yeah.
It's almost like
They're
plasma.
also-
Like,
Well,
to a
You will
degree,
find it
there's-
related to many sci-fi concepts.
yeah.
Yeah.
To a degree, there's still quite a bit of it that went over my head, but at least I can take comfort in the knowledge that someone smarter than me has like said, this is how that works. I'm like, cool. I don't know exactly how that works, but I'll take your
Yeah,
word
so
for it.
basically, we talked about this last time. They
Mm,
build their
copy.
buildings as basically almost like a type of smart coral, only it's been genetically engineered so that it eats, metallic and ceramic elements and basically spits out metallic concrete.
That's I actually just learned of a creature on Earth that does something akin to that.
This also reminds me when you
cool.
talked about blacksmith ants.
Hang on. No, hang on. Let me see if I can find it. It's a fucking snail.
Also, I hope
Probably.
not ruin the moment, but could be. We also like it's also
yeah, here
like
it is.
Hour, so
What
yeah,
now?
it's called the scalyfoot snail.
Cool.
Basically, it hangs out at geothermal vents and eats the Let's see here. It builds a shell out of iron. Basically, it eats the metallics in the water and it grows an iron shell. Hang on.
oh damn.
Let me.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
so
though.
we-
Alright, the geothermal vents, the pretty much underwater volcanoes which live and die like
Nope, we
short
know.
lifespans.
But yeah, so that's really cool. It's got a interesting. Yeah, biology's really freaky, kids. Anyway, so yeah, there's that thing, and there's plot hooks in the last bit because could it be dangerous? Who knows?
Well, we'll have to
Yeah.
do some science later, but
Oh,
We've given something for the people to do.
Oh yeah, they're super happy. Kid, they're doing great. All right, so first off, before we even get to the actual meat of this session, which should be working on the disappearances as discussed last time, though who knows, you might run into some other stuff. After a couple of the days of your medical checkup and whatever, yonder Jedi, you are not quite taken aside, but you are you go to see Alia Roll, who is the basically lead Medicore lady who we met before. Alia Roll. There's a W in the roll, but I don't really know what to do with that. Roll? Just
roll.
put a little in the R.
Roll.
Yeah.
Probably
So
better
she's
with it.
basically the head Jedi Healy lady. She's older, probably late middle age. Not super swole or nothing, but because she's a nurse. But, she
I don't know,
also...
I know some swole nurses.
Yeah, in her time, she may have thrown some people around, but she's also a Jedi healer, so maybe she's just like, no, relax. Maybe she's real good at the Vulcan neck pinch. Anyway, she basically conjures up Kavis and Aramaa and is like, so, we've been doing some research with that additive you discovered to those horrible death sticks. And we have developed a couple of items which you may find useful. First, these. And she basically takes you over to a set where there's a little bit of, kind of like little white clip-on belt pouches, which have a nice shiny Jedi logo on them in red. Cool. She kind of pops one open, and it's got a little couple of like sampler things on a little display. This we have developed with the engineers here. It is a test kit. It is designed specifically to sample for the additive substance you found in those death sticks. It can be used to directly detect chemicals or in blood. Just apply the applicator, press, and wait a few seconds. It will report back if the chemical is present. Because these were very fastly developed, the scientists have said that they do not have a very fine testing. It's possible that very, very small doses may escape it, and it cannot tell you the volume of dosage, but it will report its presence. We have managed to develop 6 of them in the time since you first brought this to our attention. So, hey, here's the first thing. You've got some spares. You've got a death stick test kit.
Test it.
It automatically tests for the supplemental chemical in blood or in death sticks or anything.
Okay, cool.
So, by automatically, it means literally no skill check. Just stick them, you can check them.
I'm guessing it's one use per...
No, actually, she does advise you to clean them if you actually sample blood, but they are reusable.
Oh, okay, cool.
They've got Space Watch batteries in them, so they're good for like 1 million uses or something. Mm-hmm. And the second is that, now, we are attempting to develop a wider range of treatment tools to treat addiction and the possible side effects of this substance, but obviously that requires a lot of research. Our sample size is not large enough, even with the assistance of some of our greatest healers. So we have not developed a universal. However, Kavis, you are quite skilled as a healer, despite your time on the battlefield. You may be able to make use of this. I have assembled a specialized kit here, and she basically pulls out kind of a little med pack kit that's also got a big Jedi logo on it. It's just like, if you discover somebody suffering out there, among the local populace or elsewhere in the field, you can attempt to treat them form a specific treatment to their substance abuse and handle withdrawals. I'm hoping with enough samples, if you can recover more, we might be able to build a more comprehensive treatment plan, but for now, this is our best work. So, hey, somebody, it doesn't have to be Kavis, but she gives it to him. It is E1, though.
Alright.
Here's a narcotics med pack. It's special.
That's cool.
It functions as a normal-ass med pack or emergency one, so you don't get the boost die. But if you find somebody who has a problem, you can do a hard medicine check and use the tools to remove all penalties for withdrawal or other side effects for up to at least 24 hours and any other things going on. So if they have any setback dice, if they have any difficulty added or any difficulty upgrades, they're fine, which happens a lot with long-term use and withdrawal and stuff. So
I really think that's cool, actually. It's kind of, I feel like it's one of those things, like, we, pushed a button to research, and the research is now done, and ding, we get a cool item.
Yeah, basically. I was like, okay, well, let's pay off some plot hooks.
Yeah.
Because this is, while this was kind of an original plot, it's also directly tied into other stuff, so I figured we'd get some stuff out of the way. So, basically, you guys have kind of mentally decided after your vacation, or at least the Jedi did it, like, hey, we should handle this weird disappearances / mysterious deaths thing. Mm-hmm. And if you want to get into it, speaking of plot hooks coming back, it's been I think a week or so since you did that test. So some reporting has been done on Gravanek's secret finances, so you can check in with that. But first, so if you want to correlate data, that's going to be a streetwise check or some kind of knowledge skill if you've got one that you think you can pitch.
I don't.
Or you could roll it whatever and just say it's a knowledge skill and roll intellect if that works better for you. But basically, this is to draw a conclusion. So first, allow me to, because you're going to look at the victims and build connections. So First off, I have some names because I just love them. But I'll just copy these lists. So, without needing to roll anything, you can know the names of some people who are missing and some people who are dead as part of this ongoing weird thing. And you also have their occupations.
I'm gonna have to sit down and completely organize my fucking notes of NPCs and locations.
Well, you don't need to do a big note of these people. They're, well, I suppose the missing ones are probably, some of the missing ones are probably not dead, but this is basically like, hey, here's just some examples. And I have
a question. Are all these people all stationed in similar areas?
Well, I mean, some of them obviously you can see are you can see their jobs.
Yeah.
These people were all
labor, maintenance technicians.
Yeah, these are specifically people that were at Outpost Sohalev, your science base. Though you understand that this is kind of a problem that's happening in other major cities too. And I have another
Jake, unemployed / dancer.
Yeah, I thought about maybe hiding that to be like, oh, if you rolled some advantage, you could be like, oh, some of those people were listed as unemployed, but they were actually club dancers or something. But I decided to skip it.
K-Wall.
I generated a lot of names.
Right.
There is also another handout. I made a sample autopsy of one of the dead people.
Okay.
So, if you would like to, before rolling anything to
I think I've really
compare
the data. I was wondering if...
Yeah, let's see it.
Okay.
Not my connection. But I was wondering if, we could try, as, Omega mentioned earlier, to, I could try a street-based thing and you guys could help me. But we could just, let's do that after.
If you want to do that, but...
yeah, but let's look at
you want to get all your information first? Okay. I can read this one for the audience. But, as you can see, it's very lovingly formatted. So this is autopsy performed by Dr. Malin Narklin, Chief of Medicine. Autopsy assisted by Clone Trooper 4831 Bleeder and Medical Droid 818. Don't ask me why the clone medic is called Bleeder. So, summary of case. Victim's name is Cridella Player. I didn't go with a hard J there. Age 53, race human, sex male. Evidence of treatment. Body shows attempted signs of revival and assisted breathing via chest compressions. Emergency responder indicated attempted resuscitation. The post-mortem bruising and rib damage is noted in the report. So the external examination, the body was delivered at approximately, 900 hours by base security in a white body bag. Clone medic CT 4831 Bleeder came in with the body, reported time of death, initial resuscitation attempts, etc. Body was clad in a dark green-gray utility jumpsuit. The jumpsuit was removed and set aside, and internal examination began. Subject is a human male, approximately 175 centimeters in height, approximately 55 kilograms in weight. Appears thin and underweight for age and height. Discant musculature, but shows signs of thinning or muscle loss recently. Body was warm, obviously, still not experiencing rigor mortis yet. Skin was unusually pale, even for the local climate, because obviously it's not very sunny on Sohalev. Hair nominally brown in color, but thinning and graying, perhaps prematurely. Body hair patchy in places. That's something you love to hear. So he shows signs of bruising on the chest, evidence of treatment as noted above. Also has unusual darkening of the skin around the eyes, nose, mouth, and other extremities. Furthermore, shows unusual reddening of the sclera and iris, which are normally supposed to be hazel. Hands and feet show calluses. Subject was probably involved in manual labor. Forearms of the body show signs of needle marks and distressed veins visible under skin. Face and knuckles show old scarring, possibly from fighting, but estimated based on medical droid scans to at least be from 1 decade prior. Hold on, I might have to sneeze. All other extremities and proportions normal. Finger and toenails slightly elongated and dirty, but not remarkably so. General hygiene low. Subject needs to clean teeth and skin more. May speak to psychological condition. No recent sign of sexual activity. Internal examination, which is AKA the good stuff. Beginning examination of internal organs and structures. Ribs stressed by the above treatment, as noted. Lungs and digestive organs appear worn and withered, being underweight. Lungs show sign of tobacco use and other pollutants in the structure. Mild case of cough mold. Nose, throat, airways, and esophagus clear of obstruction, no lesions, and appropriate levels of mucus, but perhaps a slight historic inflammation from tobacco use. Heart is similarly underweight and shows signs of damage, including muscle fatigue and necrosis. Damage consistent with heart fatigue and failure, though minimal blockages. Damage likely caused by substance abuse. Scans indicate damage began occurring within the last 6 to 12 months, likely cause of death based on examination reports of symptoms. Liver's the worst damaged. It's blackened yet swollen, shows persistent signs of alcohol and other drug use, was likely suffering from side effects of liver and immune system failure, and may have been coping via self-medicating. Damage appears to have been accumulated over roughly the last 25 standard years, but it became acute in the last 6 to 12 months. Brain and central nervous systems show slight signs of fatigue and damage, but inconclusive results. Several critical brain areas are discolored, and slight bruising to the rear of the brain and skull consistent with a slight fall. Possible slight inflammation in the sensory sectors and spinal column, possibly associated with narcotics. And brain tissues also showed signs of chronic dehydration. Kidneys relatively normal weight and minor damage, mostly consistent with other factors. Blood, bile, and other samples taken for lab work, which is the next section. So it gets a lot less detailed from here. It's basically, so the lab data was no infectious diseases, identified him as Pleurcredella via security screening, because his DNA samples. No genetic markers for any genetic diseases or defects. Lung samples did test positive for a mild cough mold infestation. The subject was in a warm, wet, dark area without proper respiratory protection in the past 3 to 6 weeks. Because, of course, there's, fucking space black mold on Sohaliv. Of course there is. Toxicology report tested positive for alcohol, 0.07 blood alcohol content, which is not super drunk, but reasonably high. Report also tested positive for a large dosage of Extolsolona extract, common name death sticks, and several unknown markers. Metabolic scans indicate ingestion within 2 hours before time of death. And then they've got the evidence they collected: 1 utility jumpsuit, 1 personal com link, 2 death sticks full, 1 death stick partial, 1 needle kit, 34 Republic credits, they were in his back pocket. They took 1 hollow of the autopsy, 14 body swabs, and various blood and tissue samples. Conclusion of the report: time of death estimated approximately 0830, consistent with security's incident report. Cause of death appears to be massive heart failure as a result of Extolsolona extract overdose combined with potential complications of drug interactions. It's true, kids, don't mix drugs. Manner of death: accident. Notes: clean-cut overdose case. Subject was an itinerant worker with a history of substance abuse problems and would have died of organ failure in the next approximately 10 years without medical intervention. History of damage in this case makes suicide unlikely. Basic security was notified immediately upon reaching this conclusion. Subject has a standing arrangement with the Claythorpe Funeral Home in Mor Iridu, but they have elected not to pay for transport. The body was identified via DNA sampling cross-matched with Republic Security Pass database. And this is basically I decided to do this only once, as basically most of the other autopsies for the dead people are like this, so you don't need to poke everybody.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So we just have
basically, well, as I said, we just have basically a list of known abusers, and
just when you thought Sohaliv couldn't get any worse, this black space mold.
He's got the cough mold.
Yeah. I mean, we're on a humid, very green planet. So yeah, so there is probably
there's probably a really easy way to treat it, but this guy was an iterant laborer with a substance abuse problem, so he, as noted by the fact that he only had 34 credits in his back pocket,
probably doesn't have a lot of money and probably doesn't want people to know he's taking a fuck ton of drugs. Mom's the word.
Yeah.
Yep.
It just feels like there's a new, like a even more deadlier than normal strain of drug being put into the ecosystem, and it's causing people to die.
That's an entirely possible conclusion.
Yes.
It did note that his damage became acute somewhere in the past 3 to 6 months.
Yeah.
Like, this guy was cruising fine, killing his liver slowly. Yeah, I'd say fine ironically. And picked up his death stick habit about 3 to 6 months ago.
Oh, well, that's the point there. We gotta see if anyone... So take note of that. Within maybe 3 to 6 months, if anyone new has shown up, peddling. But still, the question is, we gotta find out where they're coming from and who is supplying them, or making them.
Okay, so, do you guys want to Voltron up on Camo?
Yep, Camo, you get to be the head.
Okay,
yeah,
so...
I guess tracking.
Nobody has Streetwise, right?
Nope.
No, I could get it, but let's...
let's roll an average Streetwise check, so cunning, but add... Mm-hmm. Well, I assume 3 boost dice. I don't think Loth actually said he's Voltroning you, but...
No,
we
I
can
am
assume.
Voltroning.
Okay,
alright,
yeah,
so
3 boost dice from that.
3 boosts and 2
You also have, 6 Destiny points if you want to get started with that.
Can I upgrade one?
Yeah, go for it.
I don't care.
Get 6 of them. I only have... Well, I'll have 3 after if you flip one, but yeah.
It'll be 6 too, so you'll have 5-3.
Yeah,
so it's just 1 die. 1 die only upgrades?
One die upgraded, and it's an average check, so 2.
Alright.
Nice.
Alright. Solid. You have success, and you have some advantage. So, you guys may have come to these connections on your own, but basically, overviewing the subject, basically doing kind of like a victim profile is like, alright, who are these people? What's going on here? So, the key things you notice, the patterns, they're low income, they are low skill. By the way, as an actual criminal justice major, Omega should point out, he does not necessarily believe any negative things about substance abusers. He's just pointing out some shit he knows. However, the key points here seem to be that, one, almost all of these people traveled to Mor Iridu lately, which is the relatively large city on the planet, which is relatively close to you. And if you need to learn more about it, that's why I wrote gazetteer entries for it in the thing I linked, which I can link again if you forgot it. That's part of why I wrote it, because I figured you guys might be going there. And also, many of them had other problems. So they had existing criminal records, they had debts, they had a gambling problem, they had other substance abuse problems, like the laborer Credella, he clearly had a drinking problem.
Well, that's how they usually get you. They get you started on something smaller, and then they work your way up.
So, and then I'm going to toss this in, because you got some advantage.
Oh, thank you, Marth.
Oh, Marth, you beat me to it.
Yeah, I just typed in Mor Iridu and popped up with that.
But as you're kind of canvassing these people and kind of figuring their stuff out, you check out some of their things, and you happen to notice that you hadn't seen it yet, but one of these guys had a little marked thing. Can you please copy properly? Okay, I might have to do some shenanigans here. I've got an image inserted in my doc. I paste it into Paint, and then paste it into Discord? Is there some kind of weird in Google Docs only copy paste? It would appear so. It is not letting me properly. Hi, can you fucking... Because I really can't show these boys this image. I may have to fucking screen cap myself.
I was about to say something like that, yeah.
Copy the image. Why copy paste properly? Like, literally Google Docs.
I've never been able to copy paste a raw image into Discord.
No, you can easily do that. You just gotta Control-C and actually copy it. But I think Google's being weird, so I cannot do the normal things. So I'll screen cap myself. Screen.
You can't alienate it. Never mind.
Edit. Crop. White space. There you go, white space. Alright. So, sorry about that slight delay. But you notice that one of the death sticks has this little weird thing as its wrapper. Damn it, there's still some white space.
It's fine.
Clearly, we will know the entire secret from that white space. Okay. Well, let's
so you have a weird symbol thing you found. Okay. You can match it to future weird symbol things. What is the weird symbol thing? Who knows?
Probably some syndicate shit or something.
Omega may have made it in MS Paint.
I mean,
of
course.
Just see it as a person shrugging.
I also was thinking the same thing. It's just like some guy going,
oh my god, I have to remember how I learned to explain this what we do to push the button.
Yeah. It could be a man shrugging. Yeah, also I will point out that it wasn't exactly my intention, but it could be a very angry face.
Or it's like...
it could be a space tiki.
Yeah, I was thinking a space tiki, like in the weird, face of a weird space cave.
Let's go.
Yes, correct. Anyway, you found that symbol. So, that is basically your rough outline. Is like, okay, so these people appear to have traveled to Mor Iridu recently. They're normally your slice, but you may be able to turn that into more leads.
So, well, my knee-jerk reaction is we probably need to go to Mor Iridu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because as I said, we stomped around in our own port pretty hard and took care of what shook loose.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's probably the main areas that town.
Let's see. Let's see here. It's a population of 8,000, and Ubeshu's only 1,800. It's the as it says in the thing. It's the single largest settlement on Sulhaliv, and it's a port city. So, yep. As I said, by our standards, it's probably not that big, but for here, it's big city walking.
Oh, that people gathering.
Yeah.
Lots of people.
You gonna go down to the bayou?
Oh yeah.
No, they're not gonna buy you.
Go down to Mor Iridu, yeah.
Gonna go down to the port city, man.
You gonna get them cooking? Cajun cooking, spicy.
Gonna be that good. I'm
never getting off this mudball.
I'm never getting off this planet. Alright, so, before you go to Mor Iridu, do you want to double check that finance thing?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you for reminding.
Yeah, I was just wondering. Okay, so, because this might actually be relevant. So, in addition to some small minor stuff, just because apparently Gravenik was paranoid enough to, secret encode his bank account, basically. His fucking, checkbook. Space checkbook. It is reported to you that they found, 4? Yeah, there's 4 bullet points here. 4 major connections.
Okay.
Or major accounts that he was paying out to. One is Muskel Corp, who are on planet. They're in the briefing somewhere. Their accounting department has several open transactions with him, both supplying him with chemical supplies, but also paying him in return to consult. So there's a point you can investigate later. They have their own compound on planet, and their own factories and stuff. Speaking of Mor Iridu, Gravenik had an open tab with the Watering Hole, the largest and most popular cantina in Mor Iridu. It's attached to the desalination plant, or not attached, but it's, right next door. Hence the Watering Hole.
Yep.
So, he also has an open business account with Bexley Greenhouses, which is a major grow house and food exporter in Mor Iridu. So, that's spelled that way. And, basically he had an open business account for him, though he purchased food supplies, and also they occasionally paid him for consulting.
He seems to do a lot of consulting work here.
Well, ostensibly, he was bored, but also you do know that he was involved in an underground, business, so. And finally, this actually should be familiar to you, is that, he appears to have made some nondescrict purchases from a Claythorpe funeral home.
Okay.
Of what variety?
Wait a second.
The ledger notes are just supplies. So, you don't know. Was he buying, formaldehyde under the table?
Yeah, that or...
That's the same funeral home that was mentioned in the autopsy report.
I think it's the local one, though.
Right there.
Well, no, the local one...
would be honestly, you're a base. You probably don't have a quote-unquote funeral home. But, yes, technically the science-based medical wing would handle space funeral arrangements. There's probably a lot of space cremation. Because who the fuck wants to be buried on this planet?
Yeah.
You wouldn't. Yeah, you'd probably you'd probably get dug up through the rain.
Well, honestly, because we gotta remember, being buried means you have to dedicate space and protection against stuff. And...
if people insist on a burial, it's probably New Orleans style with a lot of mausoleums and above ground tombs.
Yeah.
Just because you can't. Even though y'all all own shovels now, you know how much of a pain in the ass it is to dig in the dirt.
Yes.
It would probably be better if you made in fact, I'll probably say you'll probably have an increased difficulty by +1 over the normal if you do it remotely. So you may want to go to Mor Iridu before you roll it, but you could theoretically roll a streetwise or perhaps again some kind of knowledge check to research those places. I think it's hunting rumors is charm, so you could go chat up strangers in a bar for a quest. I don't know.
Okay, so I guess Lucky can find rumors.
If that works, yes. But that's basically, I would say, it would be much harder for you to do that on base. So, do we want to, star wipe to Mor Iridu?
Yeah.
And before we do, is there anything you want to do to prep for this?
Actually, hang on. Shopping!
Stimpack check.
Great.
Yeah, Stimpack check. Do I have 2 Stimpacks? No, I have 1. I'm buying 1.
Okay.
Let me see.
I have 1
Theoretically, some of you guys could roll Knowledge Warfare to be like, hey, yo, can I just sign out some Stimpacks?
Yeah. Oh, can I just do that for us?
Yeah. You want to try and get some... What's the rarity on a Stimpak normally?
It's
low.
It's
1?
1 or 2.
1.
Yeah, it's E0, actually.
No, not rarity.
Yeah.
It's 1. Yeah, 25/1.
Yes,
okay, so that's, I believe... Yeah, go ahead and make me an easy Knowledge Warfare check. Boots, if you want to go down the requisition forms and basically be like, here's my paperwork, please give me all the Stimpaks.
I would like Stimpaks, please.
Is that... Yeah, okay, that'll be your just check. So, 3 advantage. So, you can obtain a total of 4 stim packs.
Cool. How many stim packs do you guys have?
I just have 1. I usually carry 2, though.
I have 2.
In which case,
yeah.
Kavis has 4. Okay,
Of course he is.
I'll just split up the 4 I've got. 2 to me, 2 to Aramaa.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess I'll stick 1.
Oh, okay. Hold on, my
pouch and then...
General, I understand we've had our
Actually, you only
problems,
have
but I've brought you sweet
I have
drugs.
2 right now. I bought it, like... I technically bought it, like...
You don't have to buy it. I can just give you one of the other stim packs I found. So we can just be at 2 each. Or at least have...
Sure.
I brought you the sweet healing sensation of the stim pack.
Okay, I'll just give myself back those cards.
Okay.
That's fair.
Alright, so...
Also, you have up to 6 narcotics test kits. How do you want to distribute those? They're E0.
I'll take 1.
I'll take 1, Camo has 1, and I think our med boys should each take 2.
Okay. That's
Okay.
fair.
Oh,
In
I'm
case
gonna
you need
put these
test
down in my
cards.
inventory.
Alright. And I'm assuming Kavis is carrying the narcotics med pack?
Yes.
Alright, just making sure.
Into the belt pouch they go.
I think I should probably get another belt pouch now.
Like a bag of holding for your belt.
Is there No, that's I think that's only in Genesis. There's a literal bag of holding. But boy howdy, there's a lot of shit you can buy.
Let's see. We're probably not going to need a fusion lantern in the big city. Probably
No,
not.
you should probably put that away for now.
You guys want to bring your guys' rope?
Actually,
need that.
honestly, I will
have
say
the 20
this.
line- I have the 20 meters.
Mor Iridu is definitely so from the description it's got kind of a multi-layer thing going on, like it's all built up on stilts.
Oh, it's like... It makes me think of Shanghai there. Okay.
So it's got kind of like that the below levels, which are closer to the swampy dirt because it's on a floodplain basically. It's on a river delta, which goes out to the ocean. Which, in case you forgot, the ocean on Sohilov sucks, just like everything else does. But that's the underside of town. That's the the basements in the other shifty area. Another thing to think about would be undertown Chicago. Though I do believe also Seattle has some very interesting underground sections, which are partially closed for safety.
Yeah, we do.
It's basically that. It's everybody's. Every city that has that weird shifty underground part. It's like that. The top deck, though, above quote unquote street level, is probably quite well lit. Lots of awnings, umbrellas, coverings because it's Sohiliv and they're on a coast and it fucking rains all the time. So everything is Star Wars by lamplight.
Cool.
I thought we were going to bring the fusion lantern to assist with interrogations, shine the light on them.
No, you have glow rods from that. Actually, by the way, that's a vignette we really needed, which was Boots need to talk to Camo about how he lost his glow rod. Dude, you broke my glow rod.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Hey Camo.
I mean, they got broken by the giant robot, so like...
But you were carrying it.
I forgot. How did it actually break again? Did he try to hit him with it, or did
No, he got critted and got knocked over, and the item went. Yeah, he had Sunder, so he spent some extra advantage to knock it out of his hand and smash it across the room.
Hey guys, since we're going to the big city, do you think we should pick up an urban compass? Let me just post this real quick.
Probably, yeah.
That might help. I mean, it's a good thing I've got my glow rod for my helmet, but at the same time, Cam, I don't have an extra glow rod to give you. So you're gonna have to find your own.
Oh, I have a glow rod in my fucking Jedi kit. You just want that? I don't need it.
Sure.
Yeah, you may have my glow rod, and I'm just gonna remove it from my kit.
Just hands him her lightsaber. This is my glow rod.
Okay.
Well, technically, you can buy skills out of career. The urban compass does sound like it's pretty good. I'm assuming that second square is a blue.
Yes.
I technically could get talents later on that could actually give me some points in it. Points in lightsaber directly.
Yes.
But only when fighting multiple people, so.
And the other
it's
thing
that you have multiple opponents, so you can get a boost die, because that's originally from a Force and Destiny spec.
And maybe an insider's gone. Maybe I go talk to Lopek, and he gives me a book. He gives me a pamphlet.
The arc and veteran tree is interesting because it's like the veteran has a lot of melee stuff to it.
Well, you do get up close with your pistols normally. Anyway, okay, you want an insider's guide?
Yeah, insider's guide, urban compass, and I'm just doing a quick check here, real quick, guys.
Alright, there's about rarity 2, so that goes to 4. What is? No, I'm in the hologram. Actually, where's the items?
Maybe a cultural... I don't know if a cultural etiquette manual is that really...
Nah, it's probably not.
Yeah, I guess.
That's a little specific. These guys are mostly Republic citizens with, their various Republican cultures, so...
If we plan on doing any buying or selling, I guess the only other thing I could think of is maybe getting a mercantile data pad. Can't I just get like a data pad with extra slots so I can just add more data pad functions to it?
Possibly. Because you don't want to burden yourself with extra encumbrance.
Well, because here's the thing: if I have a standard data pad, then I have the mercantile data pad, and then there's the personal attaché data.
Yeah, there's a couple of different. I think those are all supposed to be different qualities of pad, but yeah, a data pad is a data pad, so I don't really. You can probably, if you pay the price, just be like, can I still have just a one data pad? That's probably fine.
Yeah, so if I get buy the mercantile data pad for the outer rim, because that's where we are, can it just still be a standard data pad?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Okay, then I would like to let me.
All right,
I don't know if we're going to be buying anything here, but
you're just thinking about. Well, now that we're actually going somewhere urban,
yeah.
What should I own? Okay, hold on. So that's 3. Yeah. So you could probably try and bundle the 2s in. Are you trying to get this past somebody that this is a vital piece of mission gear, or are you trying to
No, this ain't vital.
Offer to pay for it? Okay.
I'm offering to pay.
All right. Well, guess what? I can't find the price lines in the GM holocron. I'm sure they're there, but they're not easily marked. So I will find a book. We start at rarity 2. So we got a 4. That is an average check. So you can do the first 2 because they're the same rarity as a singular average check. Negotiation. Or streetwise if you want to go to the black market.
I'm good.
And normally the price is double, but obviously if you succeed on that, you can shear it off, right? Yes, if it's +2, it's ×2. Funny how that works.
No, that's a supply and demand for you. All right, here we go. Roll.
Well, no, it's the added number is literally the multiplier. If you go to +3 rarity, it's ×3.
Holy shit!
Luckily, it caps out at +4.
Okay, so that should be everything. Yes.
Oh, that looks good.
Hey, do you want to use the Force to buy some shit?
No, not.
Or you tap into the dark side, I should say.
No.
How would that work?
You don't. Well, it's influence, so it's.
I basically become very scary and put the fear of what will happen if I don't get a good deal on them.
Sense Emotions does not proc for negotiation. I feel like we've had this conversation before.
Hang on. It procs for
only. I want to say charm, deception, and
coercion and deception.
Deception. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So just making sure. Okay. Well, you can get them.
Was it a 5 mark increase because of the threat, or?
No, I want to give you a strain. I'm gonna start you with a strain.
Okay. Choo choo.
You're already paying double price for this rando crap.
Okay.
You're paying 200 credits for this.
Oh no, 300.
Well, yeah. The mercantile data pad is probably because it's a separate rarity scale, roll.
But the Insider's Guide is 25. The Urban Compass is 125. So
right, fuck. It's not +25. It's doubled, so it's 150 on its own.
Yeah.
Or 250, sorry, and then it's 50. So 300. Yes.
All right.
Meanwhile, the other player characters are like, "Why do you have so much money?"
Because I didn't spend it.
But yes.
Literally, most of what I've been buying is just stim packs. Let's see. Yeah, when we got the bounty, all I spent my money on was... Let's see here. I bought a knife, a backpack, and which was 150, and then fucking stim packs. That's all I bought.
I still got some money too. Because all I did was buy a pairing to my pistol.
Knife bag.
Right.
All right, but so I would like to roll for the mercantile data pad.
Yep.
Is it the same check?
Yeah, it's still average.
All right. Roll. Yellow, green, motherfucker.
Yeah, technically you should do okay at this.
I get a point this session.
You fucking kidding me?
I will ask you once again, would you like to tap into the dark side to get that data pad?
Yeah, I'll spend 1 point for one success.
We flip another destiny point. You take a conflict and a strain.
Oh, okay.
Aramaa's a little upset that she's already been she's kind of fucked with the last purchase, and now this thing's going again. She's just like,
are you hiding the things from me now?
What?
Wait, yeah, he's talking about what you're doing. Are you hiding stuff from me? No, it's fine. We got it. I found one in the back. He went in the back and he found it. It's okay.
Doing a Wells Waldo of it.
Okay. So you
want...
do get an advantage, so let's shave off 5% off that.
Alright, so...
That'll be what, 10 off? Because it'll be 500?
Yes, so it'll be 490. So I spent 790.
Yeah. And honestly, maybe it's probably because you want to... You like, go to Space Apple Store and are like, no. I don't want a new data pad. I want to upgrade from my old data pad. And they're like, you want the data pad? Like, no, I'm...
Just
you will upgrade my data pad. And he's like, I will upgrade your data pad. Because clearly people working at consumer electronics stores are weak-minded. But
I'd like you to go across the street and get me some orange sherbet.
This is the deal I'm looking for.
Alright, now I'm down to 694 credits.
Well, who knows? Maybe you'll make some money in crime again.
Maybe we'll find some criminals.
We are about to go step into the seedy underworld. We go, punch a couple named villains. Maybe they have a bounty. Maybe.
Yeah, there's that, and then we stir up a whole hive of activity.
Alright, so even though I have an entrenching tool and a fusion lantern and a rope, I'm going to leave all those things here.
Fair. Does anybody else have any other items to maybe perhaps lower their encumbrance? They want you to say they're leaving behind.
Trying to figure out what I should leave behind.
Gotta be honest, the E-Tool's... Well... Okay. The E-Tool's probably a good idea, but there is, probably a 1% chance that you guys will decide, shit, we need to dig something. I'm pretty sure it's not plot relevant, but I don't know.
How much
you could be like, I do have a shovel.
I don't think I'm going to need my modular backpack and survival kit for this.
And then they got lost at sea. No.
I'm trying to figure out if I should leave the electro by Nox.
I would actually say take him.
Okay. Thermal cloak?
Take it.
That's
okay,
for the weather,
that's 3. I still have my regular med pack on me, plus the narcotics one.
Well, does the narcotic one function as a regular one?
It functions as an emergency, because it doesn't have the extra booster.
That's true.
But it does have a special power.
Special powers are nice.
Which I'm shocked it didn't come up, because that is a whole thing. Almost every type of spice or drug or whatever. And the actual addiction obligation is and you get setback dice or difficulty or shit. And it's like...
Yes.
Anyway.
So, mercantile data pad, specifically Outer Rim.
Yeah, because it works like that.
Let's see here. Urban Compass. Alright, now we can totally look like out-of-place tourists.
So, Hawaiian shirts.
So, should we get disguises or whatever?
Well, hey, guess what, buddy? 2 of you are going to have a problem with that.
Yeah, I'm just saying because we're clones. How are we going to do that?
Synth rope.
What could go wrong?
I'm keeping the synth rope around just in case we need to tie some people up.
That's fair. Actually, hang on. Fucking cuffs aren't that expensive if I remember correctly.
No. Also, you could probably be like, this is, hey, we're doing investigating. Can we get some handcuffs?
Okay, so there's magna cuffs and then stun cuffs.
I thought, weren't there some simpler
There's
cuffs
binders also, I believe they're called.
Yeah,
I don't know if they're called cuffs, but they're binders, because they're called binders in A New Hope.
Then there's grab binders, but the regular one is binders, and that's only 25 rarity 0.
Yeah,
but
E0.
boosts up to 2.
Well, actually, I would like to make a bulk deal. Can I get 4 military pouches and 8 binders as mission equipment?
Yeah, sure. Are those all rarity 0?
Binders are rarity 0, yes. Let me check the military.
Pouches are rarity 0.
Yeah.
Okay, so that becomes rarity 2, effectively. So, yeah. Make me an easy check and add a setback die if you don't have something that removes one.
What's the skill?
Knowledge warfare. Or negotiation, whichever is better for you.
It's a negotiation for me.
Yeah, so and add 1 black die for basically you're trying to get a lot done in 1 check.
Yeah, okay. Let me double check to see if I have anything that removes black from negotiations. No. Okay.
Not at this time, then. Okay.
No. I'll be working on it. Yellow, green. You said it was easy, right?
Yes.
Easy, so only 1 purple.
The beauty of trying to get not super ultra mega rare things.
Ugh.
Are you fine with your 2 success?
I am fine with my 2 success.
So, audience, because you can't see it, Lucky has rolled 3 negotiation checks in a row, rolled his force dice on all of them because of influence, and has gotten 2 black pips every time. Alright, 2 success. Yes, you get all those things you wanted.
Okay, cool. Everyone, you get a military belt pouch with 2 binders in them.
Sweet.
I could get additional belt pouch. Okay.
I've now become a Final Fantasy character. I've got 2 belt pouches now. Oh, wait, no, they're just belt pouches. Honestly, not belts. My bad.
No.
Oh, wait, they're
yeah,
they're just
Well, as I said, I forgot, binders are just something that's really fucking useful.
Yes.
Yeah, no, they are useful.
Can I have the description of that? Or should I just grab that?
You can control F binders or somebody can post it for you. Am I in a... No, I'm not in a gear document right now.
As I said, they're nice because they don't actually weigh anything, and you never know when you might need just to fucking handcuff somebody.
Okay, so now I have 3
Yes, you press your your zip tie hotkey, like a SWAT 4.
Okay, so I have 3 military belt pouches with
I found it.
The sickest item, the military belt pouch.
There we go.
Because action economy does kind of matter sometimes.
Yep. You can take out a stim pack as an incidental.
Well, actually, yeah, I guess that's the thing, that if you are doing quote-unquote grappling, you could be like, grab my banners and handcuff this fucker.
Which would probably be some kind of skill check to do it, but yeah. And, cool, fuck, okay. He's grappled, what can he do?
Oh, no!
So yes, if you want to do some takedowns. Alright, so on the debate of disguises or whatever, or loadouts, are you gonna do this subtle, like you're gonna... Like, honestly, taking Boots, not only because he's your favoritist clone, but also he is a fairly well-trained medic. It may be useful to have multiple of those around in this situation in case you find people who are in distress.
Yeah.
But the ARC Trooper makes perfect sense because, well, that's kind of his thing. Disappearing in a he can even do the whole disappearing in populations if he needed to. But how much force do you want to take? You could take the rest of the fire team. You could, Captain Shark's had like 3 or 4 days off in a back to tank. He can come with you. He's great.
Yeah, honestly, yeah. I feel like, well, here's the thing. I'm more.
Hey, if you're the general, if you're willing to authorize it, these guys can wiggle out of uniform. They can go civilian clothes. The question is just if they have their faces uncovered and they stand too close together, they'll be like, "Hey, are you septuplets?"
Dude, aren't there just can we just have generic face helmet mask things?
You can disguise the shit out of them.
I was just gonna do like a cloak and a mask, and it'll probably be fine.
Yeah, you can probably kit bash. Well, honestly, listen, this is space war. There's probably balaclavas and helmet liners and shit lying around.
Yeah.
I also wonder if there's any a different armor designation I could use, but
well, as I said, here's the thing: if we're going to go poking around Underworld and stuff, a bunch of guys walking around in clone armor is the last thing I want people to see.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's wondering
if you want, I could
train armor.
Well, that's why you have a cloak.
Yeah. I could dress down, put on civilian clothes, wear the thermal cloak, and maybe some kind of headwear. I won't have any soak, but
here's the other thing. Then you guys are without armor, and I mean,
there's still, I think, the gooblist. I mean, if you want to pick up some heavy clothing, that's pretty cheap.
Yeah, heavy clothing. Yeah,
wear that over it, I guess, in a cloak.
Some heavy clothing and some sort of space mask to mask.
Masks, hats, whatever. If you're trying to be tourists, you could get some fucking.
I'll wear space. I was about to say space duster. No, I mean a space Stetson.
Hey, don't joke about the space duster. Those are cool. They're in there.
Yeah, I know, but I was like, no, the space Stetson. I was about to say I'll wear a space duster on my head. I'm like, wait a second, that's not what that is. I was getting confused.
You honest at home, Stetson is a type of cowboy hat, and specifically, if it had some teeth in it, you might associate it with a personage such as Crocodile Dundee.
Of course, Loth would know that.
I played Deadlands. I gotta buy Stetson every fucking time. Yeah. Also, Lucky is ghosted.
Yeah. Oh, did he ghost? Ghostly Screeching. Yeah. Great.
And as Marth says in the chat, mess up the hair. I can't do it. The Boots is bald. He's completely
Boots is completely bald. He's cue ball.
Camo's got kind of slightly longer hair, so probably.
Fucking Camo takes off the helmet and he's got Sephiroth-like hair.
No, not that bad, but I'm assuming you mean you've got a... Actually, it's a good question. What is do you picture Camo's haircut? Is it messy? Is it just, a long flat top?
A faux hawk?
Or is he like that one guy from Clone Force 99 where he's got...
It's it's sideswept. It's sideswept. short. It's kind of based off the haircut I do. It's kind of like the haircut I have. I have to like find an image of something, but
yeah, we have to find an image.
All right, so Lucky's back.
Welcome
I
back.
think we should take Shark and the rest of our standard fire team. Have them dressed down.
All right.
I guess.
You know, Shark is somehow going to find an outfit that has a shark motif on it.
Yeah, probably.
For some reason, Walker has a lot of civilian clothes lying around. He's like, perfect. Civvies. Captain Shark, I think these boots will be good for you. Hands him a fucking pair of space cowboy boots that are shark skin.
Oh fuck, I can't remember the name of them, but it's got the little like star things at the bottom of
Spurs? Probably.
Yeah.
Boba Fett had Spurs.
They're probably made out of mud shark leather.
They're local.
it's legit. If like you look up like sideswept short hair, like male, it's basically that kind of thing.
I Google shark hat. Wait, are there space trucker hats?
I'm pretty sure there are.
I mean,
I like how sideswept short hair, just without any male, just brings me nothing but females.
Yeah.
Correct.
I mean, like...
You know what, Axe? I'll say this. I'm envious. My hair can't do that.
I mean, it's like, I've got my hair model like that for years, so like, it just does that nowadays.
Whenever I have more hair than I can handle, it always becomes a Jufro.
Mine doesn't get like that. It's like... Honestly, my hair gets longer than
That's
it
Marth.
should.
Can we stop talking about your hair noise?
Okay.
Yeah.
Do we need to have a safe word?
Focus. The safe word was
Oh, it's animal growth. It's animal growth.
Hey guys,
Okay.
how about we comb it down a little?
No, we're not playing a 40k game.
Wait, what?
Wah.
Wow.
It's an orcish thing, you know?
Okay.
Just internally. If you mind read an orc, what you get back is wah.
Oh, yeah, because they're giant fungus things.
Boys.
Here we go. Anyway.
All right, so
not orcs. Though
what
that
kind
accent is suspiciously close to my clone voice.
Alright, so let's get a civvy transport over to fucking...
Yeah, there's a lot of speeder bus traffic out of Science Base.
let's see. Let's see.
Time to ride the short bus.
It's probably pretty
I'm just trying to see. It's like, so would concealing robes count for this, or?
I mean, yeah, if you wanted some concealing robes, those are like spooky Jedi-man robes, though.
Mm.
Like
I'm just thinking about like what items.
Wait, hold on, quick.
That's like like full body head to toe type, robes with the whole concealing face thing, which I don't know might be appropriate for your character.
Because we are doing the whole semi cloak and dagger situation.
Oh no, carry your fucking guns. Unless there's a fucking what's the word I'm thinking of? Like some city-wise firearms ban. Just fucking carry your gun. Okay. Just have some slings or something.
I'll just take off the helmet and put some heavy clothing over my armor or something. Probably quick.
So
you're gonna look like a very sick boy in that case.
There are mechanical penalties for layering armor.
Mm-hmm.
You'll want to take your kit off and actually
Hold on, do you remember what clone armor looks like? Stretching clothes over that is a big mistake.
Fair.
Also, for reference, here's Clone Trooper Gregor after he got some amnesia. He was just a dude. So, space turtleneck, space vest. They gotta be puffy for some reason. I don't know.
I'm just... Yeah. I mean, it's easier for the Jedi.
Yeah. I know, you don't want to leave your armor behind, but yes. Probably.
I guess it.
You could probably stash it somewhere if you want, or in case you need to do some police shit, you can be like, hey, have a couple of LATLEs, because those have stats now. I haven't ported them over, but they do. You have a law enforcement light gunship. So you could be like, hey, load up a couple of police gunships just in case with some clone boys, in case we need to do another raid.
Yeah.
Definitely the distance, I guess. I could leave my armor there, I guess. I'll just wear some heavy clothing.
Well, actually, this is what we can do. We'll have them load up a couple of the law enforcements, and well have all your guys' armor loaded up with it.
Yeah.
Just in case.
In some hard cases.
Just in case. Yeah.
So I'll just grab the stats for the heavy clothing for now.
Yeah, it's just, I think it's like E1, maybe.
Defense one, I think. Yeah.
No, it's
E1. It's Soak 1, E1, yeah.
Yeah, Soak 1, E1. And they're super cheap. Like, I don't even know if I want to make you bother to roll to actually get them.
Yeah, it's probably just clothes.
Yeah.
Clothes.
So, after the shopping trip, anything else we need to get, or shall we get going?
You should get going.
Like I said, we got stuff for being city. We have our leads. Do you guys want to get? I said you have your rifles and your guns and all that stuff. You want to maybe think of any other weapons you might want. Maybe you want instead of your maybe you want to get something that lets you fist harder.
Phrasing.
Yeah.
Phrasing.
Oh, yeah. Now that I think about that, yeah, that was bad.
But I believe there are quite many punch weapons like brass knucks and other stuff that like give you bonus dice to conceal too. So like, there's a lot of easily pocketable shit.
I love the fucking back.
The back-handed stun glove is great, but
yeah, I fucking love that.
There are combat gloves and other shit.
Let me see.
Like I said, if you want to maybe brawl, which
I also got my pistols, which I can technically conceal.
Or you can just wear holstered. Listen, it's weird. I'm pretty sure a lot of the people who make Star Wars don't think of it that way, but Star Wars is basically an open carry universe.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which heavily respects personal defense, especially in the Outer Rim. So, like, I was just...
have you seen the wildlife?
Because I was just, as Lucky hasn't even told you to leave your sniper rifle at home, and I'm just thinking, no, actually, that tracks. Like, okay, if somebody knows their guns, they might be like, hey, weirdo, why do you have a Republic-issue clone sniper rifle? But carrying out around a big gun for hunting is not uncommon.
Yeah.
So, pistols is fine. Lightsaber in your back pocket is fine.
I'll probably pick up a brass knucks.
I will.
It's E0. Rarity 0 should be. So shouldn't be that hard to get.
You want to roll easy knowledge warfare, I guess. See if you can scare one up.
Let's go!
Alright, you've got breast knucks.
Yay!
One day I will have the backhand shot gloves again, and I'm gonna put the fucking weighted head on it. So I will just
weighted head is so bullshit.
I assume there's a section that's melee weapons or something.
It is.
Well, I think in the weapon
brawl
list it's
weapons.
broken up between brawl and melee.
Yeah.
You guys can have combat knives if you want them. I just know that none of you
I already have
melee
them,
yet.
but it's not because we're not going for
Yeah,
that.
I have a combat knife, but I'm much better at melee.
Or
a
brawl, you
Van
mean?
blade. That's
Brawl.
Yeah,
my head can
Van blade is a Van brace blade. It's a wrist blade, basically.
Oh, gotcha.
The special description should note things that are give bonuses to like concealment and stuff. Like brass knuckles are pretty easy to palm or hide.
Vibro knucklers as well.
Wait a minute,
Damn.
vibro knucklers are? As much as I love vibro knucklers, that's a fucking.
It's on the list right now. It's like it's.
Yeah, but it's got a rarity of 4.
Yeah.
Good luck
Yeah,
finding
those will be hard to get here, but still, yeah.
Brass knuckles are even harder, but yeah.
Damn, vibro knucks. Because
Backhand
in case
shot.
you guys don't know what vibro knuckles are, they're vibroblade brass knuckles. They are one of the most metal things out there, and I love them.
I'm looking
but
at
also,
them. They look dangerous as hell.
Yeah,
I kind of want them now.
they're pretty great.
Or the shock boots are also cool because I could also wear those too.
Though
Like I said-
there is also, I think there's armor attachment. Not that it matters because you guys are doing different stuff, but there are technically armor attachments for both the boot blade and wrist plate blades.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
those.
actually, the boot blade's actually pretty cheap if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it's like hardpoint 0, so you can even install it. Like you could hide it in your heavy heavy clothing boots if you really wanted, and just pop it out later.
Actually, I'm gonna get because I said I was gonna get that last time, so I'm gonna get that now. So
Don't have to pull out your lightsaber to be effective in a fight.
Yeah,
because that's gonna blow
Some
your
of these
cover
brawl
real
weapons
fast.
are kind of really cool.
Oh
Right.
no, there's a lot of really sick gnarly shit in here. It's just,
Shield
it's a little
Gauntlet
weirdness.
counts as deflection 2, counts as place. That's like 8. Some of these things are really expensive, but also really cool.
Oh yeah,
Shoot
shield
the
gauntlets are
Batar.
cool.
Oh my gosh.
Shock boots.
like I said,
Yeah.
like when I get there, I'm gonna have the shot boot and backhand shot glove combo, and I'm just gonna lay people out.
You're literally gonna shockbox, which is a
Yep.
sport. BT dubs.
Okay, that's interesting.
What's up?
I was just looking through all the things that has stun damage.
Oh man, there's a lot.
Yeah, I
Your
looked at
sniperman
the
really
ones,
needs
it's
to get
Stun
the-
Master is one.
Yeah, the stun master is I think a stun gun.
It's like,
Your sniperman really needs to get the is it Model 77 air rifle?
Oh yeah, Stun Master is a melee weapon actually with a base damage of 6.
Yeah, it's
Let me
a powered
see.
weapon.
Crit,
There's the LG4 1 concussion carbine.
And it's rarity 3, but would be rarity 5 here.
I mean, 5's not that. Remember, it goes to 10, so 5's not that awful.
And it's 1 black to perception to, I guess, see it.
Yeah, it's basically a handheld type stun gun.
Okay, so I'm looking at it. The boot blade is 100 credits, 5 rarity.
But it's
that could be a problem.
575 credits.
I would like to make an effort.
Okay, hold on.
Where would
just
put
that
the air
book away.
cannon be? I'm looking for that actually.
I will look at. I was pulling up a weapon list. I was still looking in a second. I just gotta crack this open back to combat. Not combat. Gear. Rarity.
Oh, the M300 hunting blaster. That's stun setting.
There's a lot of stuff, but no, it's actually under projectile weapons because it's an air powered dart gun. It's just really brutal because it's like strain damage, stun damage, and has a lot of pierce.
Oh yeah, the Model 77 air rifle.
Yeah, there it is.
Pierce
So
4
it is
stun.
it's 5 already.
Yes.
Okay, and then it goes to 7, which is a hard check.
Oof.
There's
I have my things here, so I can add a fucking blue. Yeah.
There's a training stick here.
Yeah, that's
you have a wooden stick for lightsaber.
35, and it's rarity 3. I could try scrounging up.
Wait, no, I did that wrong. I get a free advantage. That's what I get.
I think I want to try scrounging up a training stick.
All right. Yeah, because that's technically a lightsaber weapon.
At least allow me to not kill people.
It's basically it's a wooden sword type thing, or it's a pugil stick basically.
I think we should.
Oh hey, you fucking rolled good force for once, Lucky.
Yeah, no, I did it wrong though. I think the mercantile data pack only gives me a free advantage, not a boost.
Okay.
Well, it rolled a blank, so to make that 2 advantage, and then
it says add blue to negotiate.
Yeah, so I'll just
add 1 boost. So it is a boost. It's not an advantage. You did that right.
I did.
It's advantage to the Insider's Guides for finding
that's what
services.
It was. Thank you.
Okay, so I guess I can just find her, or do I need to make a roll? Because it is rarity 5 here.
I mean, it's technically rarity. No, I think just if you're like, hey, can I get a training stick? You probably have some. You are a Padawan in training, and there is a small Jedi enclave here.
Okay.
I feel like that's good enough to just be like, hey, can I borrow this? And they're like,
yes.
Okay. Sure. So you have an X1 training stick.
Okay.
So you have a walking stick, which is very definitely not your sword thing.
What does Disorient do, actually?
When you activate Disorient, it gives them number of black equal to the is it always 1 black, but it's for the number of rounds equal to the Disorient rating? Yeah, I think it's that. It's basically it's a useful for. It's a form of stunning people, basically. You know, like different from the actual stun quality or ensnare. But it's like
I would need lucky
penalties.
to find Barbo Knucklers, but I would totally pay for it.
Yeah,
but it also probably.
Well, actually, if we go to Mor Iridu, wouldn't we actually have a better chance of buying stuff there?
Probably. That would definitely be a bigger and better market.
Yeah.
I want to get stunned.
I don't think it would actually. It probably wouldn't actually change the difficulty overall because that's kind of set per planet. But it would definitely be more like you can find your shit. Anyway, we're over 2 hours. Let's go.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we should get going.
No, it's fine. We're doing a shopping thing, but also it's like, yeah, we can also move on. I'm assuming, are you spending all of those whites to success?
Yes.
Okay, so that's every extra success is like 5% profit back.
So it's 10 out of 200. 15. That's 20 off. So 180. Boot blade.
And now you have a knife boot.
I am so un-Jedi in my look.
I mean, you survived like war hell. I think it changed you a bit.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Aramaa is definitely one of she'd be one of those problem Jedi in a different era, but right now they're too busy to care. But like, she's kind of like Jolie. She's kind of like Jolie Bindo living in the woods, Kashyyyk. You know, where it's like, listen, the important parts of the Jedi bit are cool. The whole compassion and protecting the Republic and safeguarding everyone and all that stuff and following the will of the Force. That's cool. But guys, have you seen our wardrobe? It's not very practical.
It's nice when it's winter, but everything else, not really.
You know, the lightsabers, very obvious. Real easy for an enemy to find you.
Yeah.
Man, I should have... Oh, wait, I actually do have melee as a skill now.
You do have melee as a skill, yes. Correct.
If
I do any more shopping, I'll do it in Mor Iridu. I want to get us actually...
Let's get there first.
In the backpack.
Alright, so you and a plus fire team plus a captain. So you and, a bundle full of clones, a solid around half dozen, all gussied up in various, touristy things. Tops even lets it pass that some of the clone boys don't shave that day. He gives him a hard eyeball and just like, all right, but you're gonna match the grooming standard when we come back. Yes, Tops. Sure thing, Sergeant. So they're, goosed up. One of them has an eye patch that he doesn't need for no reason, but whatever. Where did you get the eye patch? I don't know.
Heavy weapons guy.
Yeah, he's Raz. He's got a mohawk thing, so sure, he's got an eye patch and a toothpick, and you're like, where did you get those? I don't know.
Never know when you might need it for eye patch emergencies.
He's got an earring for some reason. You're like, are your ears pierced?
He's like, nah, it's clip on.
Or they could actually be pierced, because clones are known to do piercings and tattoos. Because there's millions, if not billions, of dudes with your exact face. You got to find some way to stand out. Otherwise, you're gonna have that one disadvantage from Eclipse face.
That's why you should let your scars
What's my fucking face?
That's why you should let your scars stay.
Yes, that is also. Other than the fact that that also conserves Bacta, that is probably why a lot of clones choose to be scarred. Basically, it's like, well, I have a unique face now.
Ta-da!
Yeah, somebody's wearing a shirt that says "Heart Soholiv." No, it's got to be. Raz has got to have a shirt that says, "Oh, I went to Soholiv and all I got was this stupid space shirt." There is definitely at least. We'll say maybe it's because it's the most ridiculous. Maybe it's the Sergeant Tops is in he's got like a fisherman's straw hat with like dangly shit dangling down. He's got the Space Hawaiian shirt. I'm completely casual. The general said to be casual. Therefore, I am casual.
Aramaa feels that she needs to make these guys go through some simulations on fashion.
Hold on, You're just thinking, should I call Master Lago and see if he can pick up some fashion hollows while he's gone? Maybe we'll do it in market. I'll teach him how to shop too. Because Aramaa has won a negotiation and has force powers in this, so I imagine you're a sweet deal hunter.
Mm-hmm.
So
this will lead to like
Mor Iridu, as discussed before in the Gazamatir. So it's a fairly big city, roughly 8,000 population, spread out over a river delta and a cove, basically, along the coast. So as you come in, it's a little stormy. The pilot is probably, bing bong. The pilot droid has turned on the fasten safety belt light. If this was 40K, it would be the fasten safety harness rune. Because apparently everything's a rune, but anyway. Please remain in your seats until we have landed. If you look out the windows through the rain-speckled, it's probably raining decently hard. Maybe you even hear a little thunder in the distance. Basically, it's almost like a metal skeleton or framework rising out of the river delta, over an array of cities. Some of these buildings are quite tall. They get it to 3 or 4 stories. And you actually see there's, especially along the coastline, the port area, there's actually some larger industrial-type buildings. Everything is kind of lit up, but it's lit weirdly because you're seeing this through a lot of transparent steel panels, awnings. There are a lot of brightly colored, even decorated awnings, anything to bring a little splash of color to this place, because it's kind of dreary on Soholiv otherwise. Very uniformly green, so everything... from the distance, it's almost got kind of like a weird, garish pattern, swirls of red and yellow light, an occasional bright blue or a vibrant purple. And so there's a small port here, basically, which is land, sea, and space, So your speeder bus departs, you see maybe you depart with probably a other handful of, migrant workers, commuters, basically. Visitors, just people excited, It's probably it's a space bus stop, so there's only a few hugs, a few glad to see yous, and stuff wandering around. And so you are in Mor Iridu.
Okay.
Well, luckiest goes to the verb.
Okay, sorry, back.
All right.
Well, cool. I have an idea of something.
Yay.
That's right.
All right, you're here.
It's just as like we start walking out into like the city, Camo's gonna ask Aramaa. So, boss, what's the plan first? Like, but he's obviously he's talking in a very distinct way that's obviously different than the normal way he's ever spoken.
Interesting.
Like,
well, I mean, he is your shiftman. How much stealth do you have?
I have. I'm gonna get it to 3 eventually, but not right now. It's only 2 right now.
All right, you're pretty sneaky. Do you have any No, deception's probably not in your character build.
It's not, but I have 3 cunning, so I could get a point down the line.
All right. You're naturally shifty.
So, Camo, we have either 2 options we can go about this. Either we can look for new leads, or 2, we can follow the leads we have. The leads we have are basically the ones we have from the finance checkbook, which are the watering hole, the pharmaceuticals, the greenhouse, and what was the last one?
Musical?
That was the pharmaceuticals and the funeral home. We could follow up on those, or, as I said, we could just put our ears to the ground and go talk to a bunch. Honestly, if we go, honestly, as much as I would like to go to the direct source of information, if we just bust in there without actually knowing anything of what's truly going on and start making accusations, people will most likely clam up or
skedaddle. Or the most important people will just disappear.
Yeah. So, honestly, my first thought would be to find some evidence that might link whatever's going on to one of said leads and try to basically triangulate onto a position. How does that sound?
Sounds like a plan. I think we should start looking for rumors about musical because they're the biggest ones around. So,
well, I'll tell you that'll be much harder than normal. Musical is probably not a good one to investigate directly in Mor Iridu because they are not based here. They have their own separate compound on a different continent. You can ask around about them, but they are probably not directly plugged into whatever's going on here because they are very distant.
Oh, okay.
Look, remember, the things we're looking for too are new Destic distributors in the last 6 months, and and people who might know things about the disappearances or recently deceased.
Yeah.
So, you guys have legit authority if you wanted to, because remember, technically Jedi are space cops, space cop paladins. Mm-hmm. You're from the judicial department, as we like to keep reminding you.
Is my lightsaber basically my badge of authority, or do I actually need some sort of paperwork or some shit?
If you're like, dog, I got a lightsaber, that would be enough. That's your
magic
knight
to
sword.
Someone just like, I'm detective at law. It's like, this doesn't tell me who you are. It's just a lightsaber. It's not a badge. You can't just show it like that.
What's your authority? Okay. Well. All right.
You don't look like a Jedi.
That's the point. Oh shit, you're right. Actually, no. This is Mor Iridu. That'd be like, oh shit, you're right. Shit. I haven't seen a Jedi in a coon's age. So there are legitimate authorities here. There are marshals in Mor Iridu.
That's a spec.
Yep.
Yeah. Theoretically, there's probably some. You might. The larger Republic space cops are the sector rangers, but they're supposed to be space FBI, so you don't know if there's any actually here. I think it's mentioned in the Gazetteer that there's technically they have an office back at the science base, but you guys didn't ask about. Hey, are there any cops at the science base we can steal? So, you're mostly asking here. So there's legit the local marshals, the local street cops, who could I'm sure they have somebody on the case.
Okay.
So that's legitimate authorities. Otherwise, it's just like for instance, if because you said you want to look for death distributors, if you want to look for people who are selling drugs, that's a streetwise check to find drugmen. Or knowledge underworld, if one of you wanted to try really hard with intellect, since I know none of you have that as a career skill.
I have 3 intellect at least.
So,
okay. So, yeah. I'll like I said,
maybe I should have gone that point streetwise.
We'll be fine.
We'll do it.
I mean,
I do have that thing that gives her a threat or despair.
They do have they have guidelines for spending XP mid-sesh, but if you've got if you literally have XP sitting around and you're like, I want to point a streetwise.
I got 10. It's enough for 1 point. I could have spent it at the beginning of the session.
If you do want to spend it, You can. It's your XP. You can do whatever you want with it.
I don't need to right now, because
I figure if you want to sit and just wait to see what happens in this session, that's fine too.
Alright, alright, so I say we touch bases with local authorities, because first off, we're a bunch of people in civilian clothes poking around. Local authorities are gonna automatically be like, what the fuck? So it's good not to step on their toes and let them know that we are in the area.
And see if they're
maybe This is how you don't get accidentally arrested.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep.
You warn them in advance.
Yep.
Hey, we're on the cover Jedi. Let us be.
You don't need to see my badge.
We do need to see it.
Well, Lucky didn't buy that. I don't think Lucky bought that control upgrade yet, so.
Protocol suggests we have to see it, even if you say so.
No, they've got it's a droid desk sergeant. No, I kind of need to see your badge, ma'am. Fuck. Space fuck. Fuck.
One day I'll have diplomatic authorization. I do what I want.
Oh, you will have diplomatic immunity.
So, but yes, let's head to the marshal's office.
All right, to the station, which is also the jailhouse and the courthouse. Also, possibly a hen house, dog house, outhouse.
That's too many houses.
I'm suddenly channeling Tommy Lee Jones. This is a good voice. I'll keep this voice for a little bit. All right, y'all are at the Marshall House. There's a big shiny Republican star. Maybe it's like got 8 points. I don't know. It's a space star, okay? But not that kind of space star. All right, you're there. We can brush over most of the introductions, and basically it's like, what are you telling to them? Mostly I ask Lucky because, well, your pack of clones are a little awkward about this part.
Yeah. So, I'll basically explain that we are an investigation team, based out of the military compound, led by me, a Jedi, looking into recent drug trafficking and missing person cases.
All right. Okay. They're basically like, all right, well, so good to see you, Jedi. I see you're being subtle. Let's here. You can talk to the local man heading up our missing persons cases.
Alrighty,
Gorman. And then,
of course they are.
You're introduced to Grenz Coleman. Pleasure. He takes off his hat because he has a hat and spurs.
Are we all in sepia tone now?
Yes.
I was thinking more of a noir filter, but sure, we can be sepia.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel more Western than noir right now.
It is Star Wars.
It's too swampy for noir.
I don't know.
I mean, they have
he will reach down and kiss Aramaa's hand or glove.
Is he wearing gloves? Nah.
Also, let me spell his name for you. Grenz Coleman. Marshall Coleman.
Marshall Grenz Coleman, based in Mor Iridu.
He has a hat. It is black. He's wearing a kind of a heavy, dustery type coat. He, in fact, does have a robot arm. And he has a very... It's not a very heavy, bushy mustache, but he's got a little sharp mustache and a little goatee. Got a little bit of gray at his temples. He looks like he's about a week from retirement.
Hey, Loth, how much, Deadlands flashbacks you getting now?
Well, we're not dying immediately, so not much.
So the question is, if I start talking about high noon, does that...
Yeah.
That ready flashbacks?
No, if you start asking me to make fear checks, that's when I'm like, oh no.
No, he's not an affairman.
So you have
Though he does have a pocket chrono.
West, I guess. Your Deadlands games.
He has a pocket chrono. And he has some kind of kerchief mascot or something around his neck. Which he could conveniently pull up over his face if he wants it. Yeah, I said kerchief mascot, because it's possibly a kerchief, possibly an ascot. You don't know. Maybe it's both.
You've combined the two of them into one thing.
And he's got the blaster like Woody Harrelson's character in Solo does, where it's very clearly they just took a Colt revolver and stuck some greebles on it.
Because of course.
Why not?
Because this is Star Wars. That's how you make props, you greeble. Pleasure to meet you. I understand you are investigating the missing persons case.
Yes.
Let me fill you in on what I know. And then he proceeded to fill you in on what he knows. which is basically he knows about as much as you.
Okay.
Once again, you get the slight impression that the locals are not necessarily super sophisticated and overstaffed. He's trying his best, though. He has actually run down leads, he's asked questions, he has correlated that most of the victims here follow the same pattern. They are low income, low skill, so they are not necessarily well educated or have in-demand jobs. He does note that a couple of the people who have been missing have been visiting off-worlders, but mostly it's locals. Mm-hmm. He would probably posit they're just part of the local population. And he does note that, unfortunately, there is not a lot of pressure from his superiors to solve this case immediately, because most of the people who are missing or dead are problem people. Though I think at this point, you're probably having this conversation in his office. Behind him, out in the lobby again, you can hear someone going, "No, you must come. I demand you assist me." And they're like, "Listen, Slicker, it's fine. You don't need to. We got top men on it. In fact, a Jedi just came in to investigate this case." And he's like, "Oh, I must speak with him. Excuse me." The door bursts open, and there's a nerd if you ever saw him, a real city slicker.
An excellent descriptor.
He is wearing a dorky spacesuit, like whatever a space suit coat looks like. It's like that. He has leather elbow patches. He definitely 100% has an ascot. And he has no idea. He's like, I'm terrible. I'm sorry. I thought this was Marshal Coleman's office. There was supposed to be a Jedi here. Is that the short one? Or actually, I don't know. Kavis is not that short. He's probably just as tall as this guy. Just to emphasize how much of a dork this man is.
I said that.
You gonna raise your hand?
I'll be like, yes, I'll raise my hand, and it's like, yes, I am what is normally called a Jedi.
Oh, terribly sorry. Never met one in person before. It's not that uncommon. Jedi are supposed to be rare.
I guess it depends if you're from the Outer Rim. Yeah.
So he's like, a pleasure to meet you. Grabs your hand, shakes a lot, big shakes. His grip is not strong, but he's enthusiastic. He introduces himself. I'm Titus Vendry. You may have heard of my family. Honestly, you guys have probably heard the name in passing just because he explains that his father is the owner of a major colonist tech company, so they produce gear such as air purifiers, water filters, moisture evaporators, and various other colonization devices.
Okay. Like the important shit.
So he's like, yes, so good to meet you, Titus Vendry. I'm very concerned. He whips out a hollow. He's like, this is my fiancée, Electra Camo. I'll give you another name. You did kind of go to the place where there was probably a couple of names hanging around.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
And he's like, she's been missing for several days. It's horrible, but, not to, he kind of leans over to Coleman, and I'm like, not to, impugn your, fine self, sir, but, I believe that this case is maybe not being taken as seriously as it must be. He raises his voice slightly, possibly to passive-aggressively shame the cops in the other room.
And not being good at being subtle enough to do it.
No, he's not good at that. He's like, my family are fairly well off and potentially well respected because of our business. While I was accompanying my father on a business trip, I met Electra. Wonderful, we hit it off right away. But her family, they're large landowners here on Soholiv. They are in a centuries-long business rivalry with my family. Of course. While father does not approve of our engagement, I think mother talked him around. He didn't say anything, but Electra's family, they were not happy at all. In her last message to me, she said that she had left her family, and that I was to meet her here so that we could elope, as it were, being young and in love. And I'm incredibly posh. But when I arrived a mere week ago, she's gone completely missing. Her family refuses to speak to me. But I'm quite certain that she is not at their home, and she is not here. And I've been asking questions, and I've been talking to the police. They are not doing enough, and I must find her. I must find her. I'm sure that she is alive, but I do not know where. Where could she have gone? Yeah. He will probably lament for several more minutes unless you shut him up.
I will hold up a pacifying hand to him and speak Please do not worry, Mr. Vandrine. I have come to Mor Iridu to look on this case of several missing persons already, and looking for one more will not cause any trouble. But
thank you so much.
As I said, it is one person among many, so it will not probably happen quickly, if you understand. Investigation is something that takes time, effort, and sometimes a little bit of luck.
Would you be so kind as to make me let's call this an average charm check. Calm this man down. Reassure him.
Yes.
Charm this man.
5 threat.
Please no.
Charm this man so much that he ends up falling for Aramaa instead of his lover.
No, he has a Twuwov. Who is missing dramatically. Dramatically missing.
Okay.
Would you like
to
spend
the
dark side point?
Yeah, I will. I'll spend 2 to flip my
Basically, get 1 net success.
Yeah. Man, influence is already saving my ass.
All right. So you activate your secret aura. Somebody's like, is she sparkling? How does that work? Ping pong circulate. No, not quite that dramatic. Though, if Aramaa wants to shout out nudist beach, we can probably make that reference work.
Please, no, I'd have to actually start this. I'd have to hit this road.
It's dangerous for everyone involved.
Bitch. No.
Everything becomes suddenly pink for some odd reason.
But yeah,
sparkles.
We do the soft filter out, the round filter. Mm-hmm. The sepia tone lightens slightly, but he's like, "Oh, very well. Yes, I understand. I trust that you will do the best as an honorable Jedi. I shall return to my hotel room and wait with bated breath for news of my."
Might want his comms number just in case, but yeah.
At the end there, it sounded more like one of the guys from Ruby, the guy with coffee.
Black, yeah.
Oh, yeah. The coffee that turns into a fucking grenade launcher.
Or no, it's a flamethrower. It's a flamethrower thermos.
Flamethrower.
We watched the first several seasons of that.
Yeah.
And then it got kind of messy.
We should.
But... Hey, I mean, I own some. I'm not too shy to admit I own some Blu-rays. But only the first 3. I kind of fell off after that. Anyway,
a lot of people did.
Yes. So, basically he will go. You rolled some advantage, so you can be like, before you go ahead, can I get your comm code?
Okay.
All right. You flip out your phones and you swap numbers.
Honestly, hey, if I can get. I know this is probably not the most Jedi thing, but if I can get, the son of a prestigious fucking company in my fucking pocket, hey, more power to me. Fuck.
Sure.
Hey, you know
Plus,
what?
That might be useful. When,
basically,
the
hey,
falls apart.
Congratulations, you found the first subplot in this.
Yeah. Okay.
Now there's a missing woman. She's probably white. Oh no. Call the local news.
Oh, that's so sad. So it's sad how true that is.
All right.
Hey, listen. Like I said, I have a bachelor's of science in criminal justice. I can make these jokes.
Yeah.
I studied this. I know how it is.
Yeah. There's probably be a longer session. We'll see how it's going.
Hang on, let's see.
Yeah, we're about 2.5. I mean, we can, after you guys do some initial legwork, if you want to cut it off at 3 hours, that's fine. Or we can push on a little longer. You'll probably not resolve everything in one session, but we can get some leads out of the way.
Let's just,
So basically, I think Corman basically told you everything he was, which is basically that he knows about as much as you do. Now, if you wanted to see, if he knows any names of people or hotspots, he can probably lean that. If you're hey, who does drugs around here? And he's like, well, as he chews his toothpick. And
also, where are our fucking our hotspots?
He talked about sarsaparillas. It's like, well, I reckon he's gonna do a lot of reckon. The only real outfit in Mor Iridu that I know of is the Steel Eastern Gang.
What?
The Steel Eastern Gang. Put a little bit of English on that. Steel Eastern Gang.
That's a name.
That's a name.
It's a gang name.
I mean, what was the other ones? The Purple Sharks? I'm not gonna get to
the Violet Shark Fins. The Violent Shark Fins? No, Violet Shark Fins. What? He's like, we believe that these ne'er-do-wells operate in the underside mostly. We might be able to find their grow houses, drug dens, stash houses, hen houses. No. They mostly deal in locally grown products like narcotic mushrooms and herbal cigars. Because apparently cigar is the word they use in Star Wars. Tobacco.
Out of character, I don't think that's probably the lead, but...
but he says that we have heard reports that they deal in harder stuff. Destic sometimes, Neutron Pixie, Herbalisci. They're a little shifty bunch. Haven't investigated them directly myself on account of that I'm missing persons and their vice. But they're the local spice gang we could probably try and run down. I do know, it's not technically a narcotic, but I do know that, as I'm sure you may be aware, there are many things that are in short supply in Sohaliv. Water is not one of them. The desalination plant is a key part of our industry. But I know that there are some organizations with an association with the desalination plant who use that water to produce certain unlicensed beverages of the shiny variety.
Well, we didn't even call it moonshine. What would we call it? A fucking...
I think we've had this discussion before. Moonshine's good enough.
Yeah, okay. Space shine.
Because of that, the subtitle of this, or the macro title that I titled my document, might be The Case of the Scorpiconda and the Moonbow. A.K.A. Live and Let Die.
Okay. Okay, so actually you're saying
they
that
are, he will say that, he knows the name of them too. They're known as the Silver Scorpicondas Gang.
I see that we're doing the method of take one color, add a creature, boom, gang.
It's like that TV show. I can remember. It was like
the Trial of the Silver Scorpiconda.
Exactly. Yes.
We must assemble the Silver Scorpiconda exactly as we want you to.
And then
how difficult could this possibly be?
Corman can probably pull out a bottle of some mysterious clear substance which has a spooky scorpion snake logo in silver.
Huh. I don't have a pet Scorpiconda.
Okay.
They normally produce brews from Spotato or Granqua, but sometimes they have more complex products. We've never really had a problem with them being violent, as you say, but they've been in business a long time, and they are some crotchety folks. Let me tell you what.
Out of character, I just wonder if there's any shady newer people around.
He does not appear to have a lead on that, but you can reference that there may be that possibility. That would be something you'd probably do your own legwork on.
Yeah. Here's the interesting thing. You said there might not, neither of these might be in, but here's the thing. Gangs don't like competition.
Fair, they might know something about it at least.
Yeah. So, if anyone's been trying to push some things on their turf, they know about it. And they'd probably be more keen to get some help getting it out of their way.
Do you want to ask Corman about anything else?
Let's see. Basically, does he have any ideas, maybe where these missing person cases have been centered around, or are they kind of random?
Well, mostly they're spread out. They appear to happen to people as they are associated with certain businesses or activities. Unfortunately, a great many of people do go missing in the underside, which I will say some of my superiors are keen to call simple accidents. But listen. Obviously, ma'am, you have not been to the underside, but let me tell you. Well, it is not necessarily safe. That many people do not trip and fall and drown in the mud. Let me tell you what.
Omega,
nor is there
ask you about something involved with the autopsy.
Yeah, what's up?
Who delivered the bodies, and where were most of them found?
So that sample autopsy report and the dead people were that would be those that were at the outpost base. So mostly they are discovered by security or reported by other workers. The autopsy case, for instance, was security and first responders literally brought him in, which was clone troopers, including Bleeder, who was a medic on duty. So they found him, tried to revive him, called it, bagged him, delivered him to medical.
I was just curious if there's usual like location of bodies were being.
They're not like it's not a dump situation. And that's the same with the Corman opinion. It's not a body dump. It's these people are out and about, or like some of them might be some of them might be in like a personal space or in a private area, or like just out of the way, but. They were not, like, hidden in dumpsters or anything kind of thing.
Oh, okay, so it's more likely just the strain of drug itself.
Yeah.
But then there's those missing people. What happened to those guys?
Yeah.
But yeah, basically Corman says there's not, like, he probably pulls up a heat map, and it's like, it's not really any kind of patternized distribution, just, like, cases seem to happen where they happen. People are just disappearing where they're disappearing. If there's any kind of concentration, he comments it's probably closer to the dockside district, where things are a little more industrial, a little more low class.
Okay.
Things in Upper Old Town are more high society. Tugs on his lapels.
Okay, well, thank you very much. Let us exchange con codes. I'll give them updates. Blah blah blah. I said, these are my men.
Well, I would, tips his hat. I would love to show you around the city, ma'am, if you would be so inclined, as we are working the same case. But if you do not need me to, I can pursue leads in my own time, and I will call you if anything happens.
I will thank him for his offer, but as I said, I would like to. The best way to learn is to do it yourself, and such and such.
So you're gonna stay low key. All right.
Mm-hmm.
If we need any assistance, I do believe there may actually be a sector ranger around. I will see if I can find her, and if she is working on any situations related to this.
I feel like
Coming away!
I should just start a phone book of comm codes I have picked up.
Hat bomb! He explodes in the hats.
I was about to say, I'm not in Sarsaparilla. Ooh, root beer.
So, okay, so do you want to start looking for rumors, or you want to, like, go interview a gang?
Like I said, we have cleared checkpoints once. We have introduced ourselves to local law enforcement. Now we can probably walk around without them being like, hey, who that? And we're like, it's me, bitches. Second, what do you guys think? I don't want to, like I said, I want your input.
So I think if we go directly to the game, that could cause them to raise their eyebrows a bit. It's like, why are a bunch of people going to us?
I mean, yeah, so I think maybe we should, like, look, I think we should maybe just, like, look for rumors about our various leads, and since you'll be making this because you're the one making the check, so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
pretty much get,
I
think, if anything, we should probably if the game wants to come to us, we could probably lay out that line, just, like, let them do it on their own term.
Alright, then let us do it this way. Let us go into some of the seedier areas and offer aid to those who we can. As I said, we have the testing kits. You have the narco pack.
Yes.
So basically, if we head into the dark side and start treating people who might be suffering from addictions or whatnot, and asking them some questions, we might be able to get some leads on some dealers and where they might be picking up this stuff. How's that sound?
That sounds like a really good. Sounds like a really good idea, actually.
Yeah, that's good.
All right.
Okay. So, it's fine. That's definitely a sub-theme of this. So you're gonna go into the...
See underbelly.
Go into a dark alley and be like, hello, we are traveling helpsmen. Do you require help?
Well, I got 2 force points. I'm making it sound a lot less awkward than that, but yes.
Do you require my assistance?
All right. Make me an easy charm check then, probably Aramaa, because you have charm.
I mean, you guys could give me boosts.
Yeah, you could assist if you want.
Can I boost her with?
I'll assist 5
I'll assist.
Ooh, this would be like, well, I guess you could assist with nothing technically. So yeah, you can just say you're assisting for a boosto.
Yeah.
Like I said, you guys are all part of the aid package because 2 of you are medics, and as I said, and Camo, honestly, you're a big guy with a gun. Honestly, that might scare some people, but honestly, they're probably think that you're probably not a cop.
You have at least 1 point in survival, right?
Yeah, I do.
So that means technically you can do veterinary medicine, and also you understand like survival, like including urban survival, but also like, hey, don't eat that, or hey, your fish is undercooked, you're gonna get fucking food poisoning and die. Like survival's a very broad skill, and in fact, you can, if you build a herbalist kit, you can use survival instead of medicine to heal people, but that might be a little a little excessive with 2 healers already in your party.
Yeah. It's just more if, like, one of our healers got hurt. I guess I could...
Anyway.
That's not bad. That's the...
Oh, thank fuck, finally.
Like, do I want to spend more on advantage? Or more success?
Okay, well, so... Ultimately, I guess, what's your more important goal of this check? Is it actually to help people? In that case, you probably want to do advantage. If you're just concerned about the social aspect, that would be bonus successes, basically.
Well, no, I do want to help people.
So, 4 success, 4 advantage?
Yes.
Alright, so you poke around on the top deck and quickly realize that that's not where any of the action is, so you go down below and start asking if people need help. Are you blowing your cover, or are you still just, hello, we are traveling missionaries?
What's the word I want to use?
We are aid workers.
It's like service corps off duty. It's like service corps off duty.
Yeah. We are members of a humanitarian...
We are from the Save Sohaliv Foundation. Is that a thing? I reckon. She's just so pretty and persuasive.
Must be a thing.
Would that face lie? To Aramaa's, blindfolded, possibly, wearing a hood or whatever, face, cloaked. Anyway.
Good.
I feel like, was Lucky typing and then he stopped? Did Lucky ghosto?
Ghost.
I think he ghosted.
Okay. Yes.
Up, he's typing.
Now he's typing now. Now he did ghosto.
He did go ghosto.
Oh wait, might it be a half ghost situation where he can hear us?
Well, yeah, that might have been. He might have been trying to talk, and then I was like, well, he was in the middle of something. He's kind of quiet. He's still with us. What was I saying? Yeah, he half ghost, semi ghost.
Okay.
Not a full ghost. But yeah, so like you were saying, humanitarian aid workers. Sorry, a little yawny. It is almost 9 o'clock. Hold on, he's typing.
I probably should have tried to push for have gone to the point sooner.
Sorry, I should have.
There's a lot of vignettes and a lot of shopping and tangential stuff.
What is the
Jedi service worker?
The Jedi service corps, the medic people there.
Possibly, though that would mean these guys might understand that. That cuts both ways. But those people are Jedi, so they are not Jedi Knights, but they are part of the Jedi Order. So I don't know if you want to go that far. I'm assuming Lucky is going at that angle because I'm assuming Aramaa has no deception, so lying would be sucky.
You gotta do half-truths, yeah.
Technically correct.
The best kind of correct.
I love how my, sorry to have a small tangent, but until Lucky gets... my DM in Deadlands says, yeah, you're doing half-truths. You're still gonna fucking roll deception, you piece of shit.
Do I need to roll deception?
No, okay. It's fine. That's why I was theorizing that maybe you were going with a half-truth, because you don't have any deception. Though you do have 4 scribbles.
Yeah,
actually, that's a good point. You rolled a charm check. Did you account for your
sense emotions? I think I did. Hang on, let me look at it. If it has the one... Wait, no, I didn't. Fuck.
Yeah, because you were assisted, and then also...
Yeah, I should
Sense emotions is not force dice, though. He just gets boost die on certain checks.
I'll just add that boost die, I guess.
Yeah.
Hang on. Let's see here.
Oh, wow. Okay. So
5-5.
Alright, so... core success-wise, people believe that you are completely trustworthy, and they are not suspicious of you at all. And you're strange, slightly similarly sounding men, as if they're all played by the same voice actor.
Of Camo, who's purposely trying to do a different voice to make it you get it.
Failing.
I mean, I'll roll.
He hasn't rolled yet. It's fine. No, we don't need to roll. It's not a big deal. Nope. But sorry, I'm getting a little sleepy. I'm getting distracted. We should probably find a good conclusion point soon. But we'll keep pushing on for now. So basically, with your success, that's the persuasive part of it. Hello, we are perfectly normal. Do not suspect us. We are here to help. And they actually believe that you're here to help, so people do kind of come to you with their problems. And so the advantage is obviously, additionally to that, you actually accomplish helping people. You basic first aid, clean water, maybe do some food prep, donate some food, help some people with maybe some small repairs, because some of you have technical skills, that kind of stuff.
I have a bunch of clone boys. I'm pretty sure we have the sweep of we can help.
You help somebody move a couch.
Why not?
Yeah.
Just you are helpful and actually making a positive impact on the community. So, as part of the investigation, I assume you guys may be slipping subtle questions or cues in here. What are you looking for more directly here?
Well, one, drug users, specifically of death sticks. Second, anyone who's been talking about people who have gone missing or have died recently. And let's see here. Oh, and along with the death sticks, any information maybe on dealers, or maybe if they have seen this weird little sign anywhere.
Fuck you! So you showing some people the sign?
Yeah.
Well, nobody freaks out as if you had shown them another sign that maybe we based our campaign around.
That one's yellow.
Yeah.
Can I have context to that? Is that about a cult or something?
That's the yellow sign, which is a sign with the Yellow King Haster.
And I may have based an Eclipse Phase campaign around it. And I actually got my Eclipse Phase transhuman future player characters to dread the phrase, "Have you seen the yellow sign?" Because they were like, fuck!
You beat Spacecaster, oh no.
Faster.
OPSEC! Blam, 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 blam. If you ever wanted to hear people yell about OPSEC, that would probably our that big Eclipse Phase campaign we did was a good one for it. OPSEC?
Orbital security?
Operational
security. Remember, Firewall is job. It's that the yellow sign set was linked with Titan Tech and other shit. So
Spacecaster, of course, it was the Titan. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, it was a Basilisk hack thing, but it was supposedly transhuman made, which would be bad. So it was very.
Oh god. Oh, that sounds scary.
It was very oh shit, oh fuck. So if you ran into somebody who knew something about it, they were immediately an intelligence, an operational security risk, and it was like, well, okay, so either we need to shoot you, or
detain you.
We need to figure out some shit and probably edit your memories. Anyway, focusing on Star Wars, which is not very OPSEC, though maybe a little bit OPSEC this time.
Okay.
So, gonna be honest, with the people you're kind of dealing with, especially in this lower quality, the people who kind of are, most of the people who are dying or going missing are unfortunately not super missed. That is that is kind of the nature of this case. Yep. You do get a couple of rumors and suppositions, and in fact, with helping people, you can kind of find out some stuff. You do get a line on some drug dens, basically, which are run by the Steel Eastern gang. Mm-hmm. They're in the eastern sector of the city. Who could have guessed? So if you wanted to talk to gang criminals, you could probably find them there. You do hear some rumors that those guys have been somebody who's having some withdrawal symptoms that I won't make Marth roll because it was kind of part of your big check there, but who you're subtly treating him for some withdrawal stuff, giving him a clean bottle of water and stuff, maybe giving him some saline or whatever to juice him up, some space Gatorade.
Okay.
Electrolytes, they're good for what quenches you. He kind of comments that lately the Steel Eastern gang have been kind of on edge, jumpy, even paranoid. They've been disrupting the normal circle of drugs.
Oh.
And there hasn't been a law enforcement crackdown that would require that kind of operational change. So you're pretty sure there's some external pressure there. The second thing is you hear from somebody talking about somebody who went missing. They mention how they had a friend. They were new in town. They were low on money, and so they both were out looking for work. And the one who went missing, they mention they don't know where it was. Actually, yeah. We'll see specifically. These were probably a couple of Twi'leks who may have been visiting off world, but one of them says that her friend got employed as a waitress at a club, but it was supposed to be with a lot of elite covert clientele, so she couldn't say where it was. So she doesn't know where it is, but before she went missing, she was working in a place that is called the Offshore Club.
Of course. A fucking course.
So, if you want to look into that, you have a new rumor to track.
Missing persons.
I'm not sure there's something I could do to drive the mission, but the mission's gotta be kind of quiet for this kind of thing.
Driving the missions basically means you just have to keep moving from point to point. Which honestly, now that we're actually in town and not doing a shopping thing, I think we're actually hitting fairly well.
Yeah, we're going for this.
Look in. I'm sorry, I'm just writing notes.
Sure.
called the Offshore Club. Supposedly caters to high clientele, very hush-hush.
Yeah, and they specialize in off-world tastes. So,
Off-world
exotic
tastes.
dancing, imported food, probably some other shit that's not common in the infrastructure of Solo.
I wonder if we're going to make a deal with the gang that we're not going to crack down. We're trying to crack down this other thing, which is maybe a bigger deal. Like,
don't speculate, just do it.
Well, like honestly, that's not a bad idea. But like I said,
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
It would get us some, it would get us, possibly a connection with the underworld, with, maybe at least some couple friendly faces.
Like I said, we can't be
And
hard. Honestly, this is a luckyism, but I can't be full on hard burner justice man for every little thing. I can't.
In this situation, where we're trying to deal with, I think people that are, a multi-planet problem, this is, very local, so I think we can kind of...
Like I said, honestly, moonshine doesn't really bug me that much.
Yeah.
Honestly, it doesn't. Everyone wants a fucking drink. I can't stop that. Low-end drugs like shrooms and, other things, honestly, can't stop that. But hard-hitting things like death sticks?
Yeah.
That's a no-go.
And I think this gang
I
might...
will say, you do know that these guys, the Steel Eastern, do try and deal in the harder stuff, though that's not their primary bulk. Perhaps because of manufacturing.
Yeah. And
We could
maybe
make a deal with them.
as I said, honestly, if we go up to them, get some information, maybe we can lean on them. It's hey, we'll help you out, but you can't do no hard shit no more, otherwise we will come down hard on you. It's stuff like that.
And then, depending on how your check goes, it'll be you're the boss of me, Jedi man! Or it'll be okay.
And then, and honestly, like I said, I don't know, I gotta check to see what drugs are legal and not legal, because one day when I have Aramaa's House of Comfort name pending, maybe I will deal in some legal drugs for people to relax to. I don't fucking know.
Well, there's definitely various forms of alcohol and tobacco analogs. There are certain types of spice which are legal. Rill is... There's a lot of trade in legal Rill, because it's only from, the name of the Twi'lek planet escaped me for a second. Ryloth. That's right. But it's a medicinal substance that's like a painkiller, so it's kind of like modern opiates. It can be abused as well as sold legally. There's calf powder and stuff. Technically, that milliflower stuff, which can be refined into a spice, is also vital to aromatherapies. That's legal.
Mm-hmm.
And a place that grows that, stuff like that. There's some stuff. We can figure some things out.
But later. So, as I said, right now, we're not here to bust up every single fucking gang and stuff.
And honestly, you gang around so, there isn't, vacuums.
Yeah. But, as I said, we can put a eye on them, and we can put maybe some restraint on them. Because, honestly, if they're a gang like I hope they are, they want to run a business, and they're not trying to actually, fuck shit up. They're catering to Vice, and unfortunately, Vice is something that you really can't get rid of. So, we work around.
If you want to, profile the gang, that's unfortunately probably Knowledge Underworld, but if anybody has any intellect they want to try and roll, you can probably try and figure out, what scale of guys these guys are.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Is Kavis with this?
I could try.
You guys can all, rack your brains.
Yeah, let's all team huddle and think about the Eastern Steel Gang and how they do.
Yeah.
So get a boost from me, Marth.
Okay.
I wonder if Skullduggery would help in this case, but I guess it wouldn't.
No.
So how many blues
that's not how Skullduggery works.
Fair.
How many blues am I getting here?
If everyone's helping, 3.
3.
Okay, and what's the difficulty?
These guys are a local outfit, so depending on what you're doing, that can make it harder or easier. I'm going to call it average, though. They are a local outfit, and you are in their zone, so it's hey, what do these guys like? Because it's not I want to know everything they've ever done. It's what do street gangs like to do?
That's decent.
All right.
Nice.
So, the Steel Eastern gang, they're the local gang. They're one of probably several gangs, but their business is they're associated with spice, because you heard that from Corman. Mm-hmm. So, on the one hand, yeah, their primary deal is narcotics. That's how they make their money, as opposed to, intimidation, prostitution, or any other big vices. Mm-hmm. On the other hand, that is technically part of a big business thing, and there are ways to, go legit out of that. you're going to guess that their infrastructure has, like mentioned, they've got their own grow houses and stash houses and stuff. They get the product. You're presuming they're growing it locally, though they might import some. They probably deal in light, not even necessarily some of the stuff that's local they deal in is illegal. It's just, nobody cares because it's, because there are quite a number of mild narcotics and other stuff in our real life that are legal or partially legal, and just nobody cares because they're not as quote unquote good as the hard stuff.
Or dangerous.
So there's you could maybe, if depending on who's in charge, and I will say now that there's a whole gang politics subplot built into this adventure already, but we could engineer it if you really want to go that big. But depending on who is in charge and what their vision of the gang is, because some guys are in the lifestyle just because that's how it is, and they like the street cred and all that stuff. But also, there's just as many who are like ambitious, right? Like they're like, okay, the lifestyle is a means, not an ends. So those people could be considered to go straight, or especially if it's like, well, your alternative is that when we go in here to punch out these other guys who are causing you problems, supposedly, we also have to punch you out because you're part of the problem. Mm-hmm. You can guess because you got some advantage. A couple of extra tidbits, though. So, one, you don't hear about them dealing the serious shit like Rill or Glitterstim, which are really, really big, really expensive spice markets. They probably want to get into that business, and that would be quote-unquote bad for you, because that would mean they're doing even harder stuff, more expensive. That means they'd have to probably hook up with, the huts.
Yeah, that's bad.
Because Glitterstim only comes out of Kessel in hut space, but it's also like one of the highest quality spices out there. But there's some other stuff too. But that does mean that obviously they probably have ambitions. If you can either like counter them or just shut them out, then they'll be stuck doing what they're doing, so they'd be easy to control. The thing is, though, you are going to want to be careful. I'll give you this for the little bit of advantage. You're going to be careful how you approach this, because if your theory is correct, and you haven't heard anything to unsubstantiate it yet, and that there is a outside force who is the mysterious Blue Shrugman group.
Blue Shrugman.
There's another boss name. Blue Shrugman. If they are actually intruding on their turf, because they are the Spice Gang, they're the narcos, then they're probably going to be super sus of anybody trying to impede their efforts. So, this may be a situation where full-blown honesty is a better solution.
Okay.
Where I'd just be like, hi, I'm a Jedi. If I wanted to, I could end your whole goddamn career. But I don't care about that, because we're Jedi. We have bigger shit to do. What I want to know is, who's this spooky narco cult in my shit? What's with their weird symbol? Why is their drug do weird brain stuff? What's going on here? And they'd be like, they'd probably be like, I don't fucking know. But they might know where stuff happens.
This reminds me where it's like a bunch of like the Fed agents are like somewhat like casual friends with like crime family heads.
Well, as I said.
In the Clone Wars, the Republic is allied with the Hutts.
Yes, theoretically. Because we know that everybody knows the Hutts are dirty, but they got a lot of money and they got a lot of space, so it's kind of like, well, helping or hurting.
As I said, this is what we gotta think. It's like, it's rather an enemy, than an enemy you don't.
Heck,
if we maintain decent relations with these gangs, clamped on the harder shit, and maybe
so with your advantage on Underworld, actually, because you did get quite a few and some successes, another theory presents itself. If you really wanted to shut these guys up, because the Republic has actually done this, you could buy them off, like literally. Like, you want them to stop selling drugs or whatever, or at least the illegal stuff, just pay them. Just pay them what they'd lose. And be like, hey, here's a urban redevelopment grant. And, just, whether or not it's a literal bribe or it's actually like, no, seriously, this is your startup money so you can run a legitimate business, like, that's up to you about what conditions you want to set. That would probably be a negotiation check with somebody. But literally, because, again, these are a street gang. Even if they're in it for the quote-unquote lifestyle, they're in it, that's because they think it's cool, right? Like, they get shit out of it that they wouldn't get by being unemployed and uneducated or whatever. like the unfortunate people who are dying of drug habits. But there's no cause or belief system in being a street gang, right? Like, obviously there's some amount of street respect, street cred, that kind of stuff, face. But ultimately, that's not really as important as, say, briefcases full of cash. That would require you to try and figure out how to justify this to somebody with a treasury department, but you could definitely, because the Republic, since we brought up
it's also
Clone Wars,
stopping a problem before
the Republic has totally offered to pay off criminals as part of their operations. Now, obviously, other times, Anakin Skywalker has been like, well, go climb a tree, Hondo Ohnaka. But to bring up Hondo again, he literally kidnapped, or he doesn't quite kidnap, but he shenanigans Count Dooku out of a crashed ship situation, and he's like, "Dear Republic, I, Hondo, your friend, will sell you Count Dooku for a shitload of money." And I'm like, "Okay, we'll give you a shitload of money." And then he's like, "Cool, I have now kidnapped your 2 Jedi. Please pay me 2 more shitloads of money to have them back." Ah, shit. They get out, but still, like,
yeah, that's what Hondo did.
The Republic is definitely, like, they're not happy about it, but you could probably swing some discretionary funding to be like, listen, we have to focus on urban renewal, okay?
Well, actually, no, it's probably easy. It's like, if we make them legitimate businesses, that becomes more trade opportunities.
Yeah.
Along with, like, with expansions. That means we can actually start seeing specifically Soul brand spice and alcohol to other systems.
Economic stimulus.
More trade place.
Which means it also could, like, increase people here, or increase, like, commerce, which also means the people that start it.
But it also fattens the cow as a military target.
Yeah.
Yep. But you already have that problem, so.
Yep.
Yeah.
But as I said, so, honestly, I'm gonna make note of that. Because that's actually
yeah, we've been going for over 3 hours. So basically, it's like, do you guys want to... I'll ask this. Do you have a clear, concise picture of where you want to go right now? We can try and, like, turn that into a conclusion. Or are you guys okay taking a break here, thinking about this for a while, and we'll come back to it later?
I wanted to say the thing. I'm okay with taking a break.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're over 3 hours,
okay.
so this can be a good session. There was a lot of character building, and there was also a lot of investigating. And I hope you liked the parts of it that I did a lot of work on.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, no. When you handed us the handout, I was like, oh, Jesus Christ. This is amazing, but also, man, Omega.
Hey,
I was like hoping that wouldn't be like this take 2 parts, but this probably would, because we probably put a lot of detail into this, so we're gonna try to get all of it.
Yeah, honestly, we probably could have, but we did have a bit of a slowdown because we needed some out of character time at the front, and then some in character time to resolve some dingling plot bits. Mm-hmm. But it's okay. No, it's good. Like I said, that's the thing that you guys seem to put a lot of effort into, and that actually go across really well, is the little character interaction bits. I bonked just then. Anyway, okay, so I'll wrap this up. Let's see. What did you do?
Maybe we see get duty just so we can get that to wrap over or not.
Investigated the peoples.
We just need 1 point.
Sadly, not yet.
Yeah.
Investigated the peoples.
It's probably like 10, 15 points.
Yeah, I think, unfortunately, just because you spend a lot of this on setup, it's probably you've only really accomplished a couple of different distinct things, so we can call it 10 XP base.
Okay.
Alright.
The people...
I'm just trying to think if I hit my motivation or not.
Let's see.
I'm probably not.
Yeah, I don't know. For a lot of, like, your faith and people counting on me stuff, that didn't really come up yet. You're mostly asking questions. Yeah. Actually, no, Aramaa. Lucky you really should get 5 XP. You totally... You sweet talked that dude and promised to help him if you could. And basically, you took on a burden.
Yep. He is counting on you now.
He is counting on you.
And you have potential opportunity for good boy points as a result, so... No, that's totally worth 5 XP. Like, no, you took on his side quest, even though maybe you guys really shouldn't.
Either technically, it might just be like kind of intertwined with what we're already doing, so see.
I can't wait for either one of 2 outcomes, which is this side plot has nothing to do with the drugs, or this lady that's disappeared is actually part of the family that runs the cult crime. Who knows?
I think they're offline, but maybe.
I also have some other, like for instance, you are in the town where Mr. Jormdo is supposed to be, so if you ever would... I didn't bring that up too much earlier, but if you did want to actually combine those, you could probably try and, like, work out if he's involved in this directly, too.
We could probably add some, like...
if we ever have to, like, sit on something, we'll probably switch to specifically looking for her or looking for Jormdo.
There were 2 Mandalorians with 1 Sarlacc pit.
Alright, well I got 15 XP. What do I want to spend it on?
Let's see. Is there anybody else who makes a case for motivation?
Mine was
that's a negative for
drive
me.
the mission, but I tried.
I don't know if you really... You were definitely on task, and you said to yourself that you were making... Like, Camo went out of his way to act in Disguiso and stuff, but I don't know if necessarily you really sacrificed yet.
Yeah, I just wasn't sure
really
like,
driven
really
to do
times to do it.
That might come up in the future, though, because some of you guys are possibly potentially putting yourself at risk and, like, really driving forward to do your stuff for the thing. That's a really specific phrase. So, we'll call it, base. It's a much a setup session. I'm sure you'll get more next time.
It's fine, because the 10 XP is all I need for my next talent, which will probably be useful. Which is, it's going to be, I can, once per session, reroll a stealth check or a ranged light.
Yeah,
That's
natural
pretty
commando.
good.
Yeah, natural
That
commando.
stealth check might be useful.
Yeah.
And
then next week,
yeah, you did a lot of legwork this session, which is probably why there's not a lot of EXP. But next time, there may be sneaking into places, looking at things, because you guys haven't... You know about the offshore club now and haven't poked that at all yet.
I'm just going to take
You have not poked the funeral home or the greenhouses yet. Those are both local here.
Yeah, we're probably...
You also have to look at the watering hole or the desalination plant, which is next to it. But I don't know if
That's
you
probably
care
our
too much
next
about
week.
that.
We are totally in just a fucking open world setting now of just... There's a whole bunch of fucking objective markers everywhere. And it's just
Yeah, you guys thought you were playing Jack and Daxter, and then suddenly, shit, it's Jack 2! Fuck!
Oh no! No.
I was sort of thinking it was like, we thought we were going to do like, it was going to be like Knights of the Old Republic, but it's like, oh no, oh shit, it's,
Well, that's what, it's character,
it's the outer
driven
world.
plot, honestly.
Yeah. So, similar to Axe, I'm also 10 experience points away from getting my next talent. That's
No, I mean, I already had the 10 XP sitting
next
around, so I got
vacation.
it.
So he's got 20 for Natural Commando.
Yeah, I already
so
got it.
I need another 10 XP that I can
You'll
be like,
probably
okay,
get
cool,
it next time. I cannot
get
imagine
20.
unless you guys literally be like, no, fuck this. Armaa's taking the clones shopping. We're going to teach you how to find some deals.
Yeah.
And you get into a social conflict with the deal master. Dare you play my wheel of deal?
I'm rolling brawl on his face.
Okay. Take 2 black dice for cult shot.
You just like, I'd like to
You
roll.
broke his face.
I'd like to roll brawl at him. No, I'm not actually punching him. I'm just throwing dice at his face.
Hey, chance cubes. Some of them can be weighted.
Well, I asked Walker to
You
give me his
one
chance
die
cubes
for
to throw.
seven? Or is it... I'm thinking of move. Is it 10 damage times still?
Yeah, 10 times damage times still.
So if you threw chance cubes, which would be still 0 at him, it's 5. That's pretty
Yes.
I mean, it's still like, for someone
That's a
only wearing
fucking
clothes, it's
anime-ass
still
power. Hold on, I'm going to telekinetically shoot dice.
But then I can move people now.
Oh, you can do so many things. Alright. Alright, so I will wrap this up for the audio, because last session was chunky.
Big chunk.
So, the usual YouTubes like, comment, and subscribes. Because this is 2 parts, I might not want to call this one Live and Let Die.
Yeah. Might want to say something else, because like, you might wait till we actually get to the meat.
Fuck, well that means we gotta think of a different one. Is there a song about drugs? Let's think
Is
about
there a
that.
song
Oh,
called
there's plenty
Prelude
of
to
them.
Disaster?
Songs about drugs. Let's see here. What does Google tell me?
I want to know a song about like drugs and love at the same time.
Let me
Yeah, all
see.
kinds of things.
Sister Morphine, Jesus, Junkhead, Drug Ballet.
Drug
Ooh,
love.
Alice in Chains did Junkhead.
Purple Haze.
Oh god, no.
I'm trying to find like something like iconic. Let's see here.
We'll probably work on that off mic, but I'm just saying, hey everybody,
Oh yeah.
don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. We'll see you guys next time for more Clone Wars.
Bye!
Yes. See ya.
Will they get the reference of the Scorpiconda and the Moon Bowl?